San Antonio's Sports Center.
It's an all number one seed affair coming to San Antonio as the top four seeds are coming for only the second time in the event's history. The other was in 2008 when Kansas, Memphis, UCLA, and North Carolina reached the Final Four. The Spurs had a rough weekend, dropping 2, losing to the Boston Celtics on Saturday, 121-111. Yesterday, getting bombed by the Golden State Warriors. Final score, 148-106. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Everybody, how we doing? Welcome in. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ, joined as always by Mr. Rob Thompson. Hello, Robert. Good morning, friend.
Glad to be here. My wife has noticed you say Robert.
Does that bother her?
No. The only person that ever used to call me Robert on a regular basis was my mother.
Oh. Well, your mama called you Robert. I'm gonna call you Robert.
I have no problem with it. But my wife noticed it.
I don't always do it. Only
does
at
he
the,
always call you Robert? I go, well,
no, only at the intro. Like,
I'm not upset with it, but I noticed once she brought it up, I thought, oh yeah, but no one normally.
I was gonna call you Bobby Thompson, but
that was my dad. I was a Robert through most of high school. I turned to Rob when I was around another Robert.
Okay.
And it just,
thank goodness you never went through a Robbie phase.
No, my dad wouldn't have had that. That was never going to
I feel like kids named Robbie get knocked down on the playground.
They normally should.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they're bullied more.
Yeah. Good morning, Victor Brown. Victor on the other side of the glass. He took care of my work cat this morning.
Yeah.
Gave him a good meal. I thought he was dead when I pulled up because I only saw the black cat.
Nah, dude.
Oh, no.
And then
he hides.
Yeah.
How'd he look?
He's pretty rough these days. He's
I
pretty
mean,
rough.
he looked pretty bad on Friday. He looked better than Friday.
Probably
Did
the
lay
same.
low this
About the
weekend?
same.
Yeah, he's been, well, remember last week it rained so much, and
Maybe that's what it was. Wet.
you know, a stray cat, you leave him out in the rain for a week, it's like, there's only so much you can avoid the rain,
he
you know.
looked a little gamey.
He's looking rough these days,
Yeah.
but he's fighting a good fight, man. Tomorrow is April, so should be about, I don't know, hopefully 8-10 weeks before my family gets here, and
Wow.
then
Maybe he'll
have a home. Maybe
Well,
he'll have a home.
It won't have to deal with cold weather anymore anyway.
That's right.
He'll be fatter for it.
That's right.
He'll never be better fed than he is right now.
You're probably
He's
right
getting
with that.
several squares a
even
day.
if he's at my house.
I get the sense that there's probably somebody else here in the building that feeds him too.
Elaine does.
Does she?
I
Okay.
think that there's other cans of food.
well,
being
she's
left
probably
out.
feeding him her leftovers, Chef Boyardee and stuff like that.
That is what
Yeah.
she's doing, yes.
Yeah. She doesn't have a cat food stash like we've got.
I had a coyote sighting at the house this weekend.
Oh,
and we're minus
no.
a chicken.
What?
Well, we had a couple of big
I thought this thing
chickens.
was bulletproof.
Well, it kind of is, but for one, we left a bush so that they could kind of have a place to get out of the sun other than their house. And we couldn't get the chicken wire because of its size all the way over. So there's an opening, and these are the biggest chickens we've got. And they're able to get to the top branches and
fly away?
fly out. We've never actually seen them do it, but I found the feathers on the outside of the pen. So they got outside before. And the only way I can think that they've gotten out, because the only ones we've lost are the two biggest we've had. So we're down to 19. Though, big weekend. Pulled in 6 eggs. So that means I have 15 laying hens.
Nice.
That's 15 eggs a day.
That'll work.
So that's
How
about.
are you guys
That's
on
about
eggs?
$1.4 million.
Yeah.
How are you guys on eggs?
Yeah.
because I might have to. I might retire and go
I
ahead.
eat 2 every morning. Every morning, first thing.
Now these are smaller. I mean, you'll need 3.
I'll
maybe
probably
4.
need about 3, maybe 4. Yeah, you're right.
But I cracked one last night to test quality, and yes, sir, it's been been a minute.
Nice.
Real
Nothing
dark.
better than nice orange yolk.
Yeah, there you go.
We've been feeding them some good high protein meal. Mm-hmm. Good.
Mm-hmm.
You can taste it. You can taste it.
French fried taters.
You ain't got no band, Randy. Sorry.
I went to my mom's on Saturday and made a grievous error.
It's an early season mistake.
Yeah,
white people problem.
I hadn't been outside in a while, and I at least not for
All right, AJ, you got to show everybody.
more than an hour or so.
Yeah, this will be you need to show everybody. This is one of those reasons to get on our
Will you be
YouTube
able to
feed.
see it on the camera?
Well, I think we can get you close enough to a camera if we have to.
I've seen this at a lot of golf courses.
So yeah, this is an early season tan. Now you got to be real careful that doesn't turn into a tan line.
Yeah, get ready.
So all you baseball dads, this is what you need to do as the season begins. This is known as the Hank Hill look.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube if you missed it.
It looks like I'm wearing. I made the mistake of wearing a snapback hat, and now I've got the full outline of that hat on my head because my neck is burnt to hell. And it means I've got that little half moon.
So you had long sleeves on?
No.
Oh, so your arms turned out all right.
No. Yeah.
No, let's see the backside because you can tell you were kind of on your hands and knees.
Wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and the backs of my calves are the worst. I was up on a tin roof doing some patching and painting, and then we worked on the elevator at my mom's house. And
see, if you'd have had the availability of some less than documentable workers, you might not have been on your needs.
Didn't have that.
Yeah, there's nobody at the Home Depot no more to help me do that kind of stuff. I got to do it.
They're all gone. I'm going to do it myself. And what's happening to me? I'm dying.
A tin roof. I don't care what the weather is. That's hot. Hot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a huge thing. It was just. I probably spent about 6 hours out in the sun, and that was enough.
Sea breezes smell good.
Oh, and that's the thing. It was a beautiful. It wasn't that hot. It was a beautiful day. It was like mid-70s, and honestly, every time I get sunburnt, that's what it is. Because if it's 100 degrees outside, I'm like, oh, I got to put on sunscreen.
Exactly. The cloudy days get you.
When it's 70s, I'm like, oh, it's a beautiful day. Who needs sunscreen? And then you forget that there's still a giant ball of fire in the sky that hates,
and even if there's clouds,
hates us pale faces.
And some of us have it worse off than others.
I have it worse off than particularly
you're
bald people have it worse off than anyone.
I imagine you sunburn pretty easy.
Yeah, I do. I do. And I have now. This is another example of I need my wife to get here because she would have
reminded you.
Talked some. Yes, she would have talked some sense in him. I mean, I used to. I go out to the Frio River every year, and I've floated that river for as long as I can remember. And as long as I can remember, I would have a tan line in the shape of a beer can in the middle of my chest, and the rest of me would just be a lobster. And finally, she's like, "Dude,
what are you doing to yourself?"
Yeah, why? Like
this is easily preventable.
You always know by the end of the third day you're going to be miserable. Why do that when you could float and get drunk every day? Yeah. And I said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So I've started sunscreening more.
That's why we live longer once we get married.
I know, but now that I don't have her here, and she was like, dude, when I told her about my sunburn, I was asking her she's got some special medicine that she gets that it's like a spray that takes away the pain, and I was like, what is that called? And I was like, she sent me the link.
What is it called?
I got the link.
Is it some kind of aloe vera?
No, but I was like, can I get that in a store, or do I have to get it online? And she's like, you can only get it online. I was like, oh, well, that doesn't do anything.
Out of Mexico?
It's out of Colorado.
Oh.
I think it's got the reefer.
I think it might have some kind of THC salve. A soothing salve.
More uses for it.
But yeah,
Don't smoke it.
And then she was like, well, now she knew what happened. And she's like, when are you going to start acting like an adult?
Dumbass.
And that's often her retort to about anything dumb I do. When are you going to
Well, the
start
thing
acting
is,
like an adult?
She's gonna come back, and you will have regressed.
Oh,
She
yeah.
had you trained up.
Yeah, I'm going to be sunburnt with a bunch of football cards and top ramen.
Top ramen, boxes of mead just laying around the house,
And kitty big balls.
And a new cat.
and another cat.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, and that's the other thing I did yesterday. Before, I got up early so I could go out. I wanted to make sure I was home in time for the games, but I went out to an open house on
Some shopping.
on the far west side.
How far? Castroville? Did you make it all the way there?
Not that far.
Hondo?
But no, not that far. But it was far enough that I made the realization that there can be too far. Because some of the it's not. You've told me that it's going to be a booming area out there.
Yeah, about 10 years.
But there's not a lot of infrastructure there yet as far as major roads that'll get you out. So this house was great, but I had to drive through this neighborhood, and it ain't easy to get to out there. So
And you're talking driving to the polar opposite side of town.
yes. So
Definitely a consideration.
yeah. So I think that I don't mind living on that side of town. I think it's just a little further north on that side of town is a little more built up right now.
Mhm.
And as you go further south, they're still working on that. And I don't really want to live somewhere where they're still working on it. I'm a little spoiled in that way.
It's nice to have them come to you. You get some peace and quiet there for a minute, but if the commute's in the way, dude, life's too short for 45-minute commutes.
Yeah.
Although for my business, I'm all for it, of course. I'm for shut down highways and
Well, yeah.
cones and flashers.
Yeah.
All the, actually the radio business is funding a lot of the 1604 I-10
Yes, we want
mess.
we,
We're behind
We
that.
play this game called Time Spent Listening.
Yes. So
we don't even mind if you get a flat tire and have to
No.
wait on AAA.
no, we don't do anything deliberately, but we're not pressing the gas on getting any of this done.
No.
It's all our fault.
We don't drive around with a truck full of screws that just drop them along the highway.
That's our competition. We would never stoop that low.
Exactly. Who's our competition?
Well, they're gone now because
Billy
they're bad
Madison
people.
was
They're
doing
bad
that?
people.
Billy Madison did that, Vic?
I
I
hear
don't
tell
know.
that those types do things like that.
I would hope not.
I'm not accusing anyone of.
I haven't
doing
heard
anything like
anything
that.
like that, but if that is true,
They would be the ones that would. I haven't heard anything.
if Billy Madison is indeed dropping screws along the highways of San Antonio,
Just to add to their ratings.
that would be a real shame. Now, personally, I don't believe it.
Because
I personally don't believe it. I've never met Billy Madison, but I like his movie.
we would never do that.
I like his movie.
We would never ever go there.
Isn't there a 2 coming?
I can't imagine. I hope not. No, it's a Happy Gilmore 2 is coming, not Billy Madison. You can't really redo Billy Madison 2. It was kind of a one-time thing.
And I think Sandler's getting a little old to do some of these.
I think
bits.
so too. But
It
although
looks-
God,
It looks like he's been kicked in the head with some of these bits.
Yeah, he looks
It was funnier when you were young.
My
Now-
favorite
now
thing
you look
about-
like you got Parkinson's.
my favorite thing about Adam Sandler is he always he just walks around New York City wearing gym shorts and a t-shirt. He looks like
He looks rough.
he looks like a transient, and it's maybe one of the wealthiest guys walking around, and you would never know it. I kind of like that.
Well, I see video of him, playing pickup ball all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So hey man, if you can,
Take him to the hoop.
you would.
Whack him. Well, not now.
I bet he'd wear your ass out.
Probably now I'd be on one leg, but
Well,
on one leg I'd probably.
How
it'd
much
be
older?
close.
How much older are you than him? Can't be that much.
Well, it's not about age; it's about wheels. I have a bum wheel. I have.
Oh, yeah.
Give me 6 months once I go bionic.
Okay, and you'll. When's the last time you went out and hooped?
Like a legit game.
Yeah.
Probably 5 years. I just can't.
You think you've lost it?
Well, I know I have. I've gone out and coached and shot drills, but played a real game.
Mm-hmm.
Can't. No, man. It's once you fly a jet, you don't ever want to fly a blimp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you, Bubba. I feel you. All right. Well, we got a big show. We've got the Final Four set. We know who's coming to San Antonio. We'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
Dr. Jacob Torres is my primary physician, has been for the last several years. And that's not how it began, but that's what the Institute for Functional Health is. It's a one-stop, healthy stop for all of those seeking good health. And the primary part of good health is your weight. You know, it affects so much of your life. It might be parts that you don't even consider. Your sleep, the snoring that you have, that's probably weight-induced. And all those aches and pains that you just attribute to old age, that's probably weight-induced too. So if you're just dealing with everyday aches and pains, it ain't age, it's weight. Call Dr. Torres today if it's time for you to lose weight. Whether if you've decided or a doctor's told you, there's no better first stop. It's not about GLPs and shots and pills. This is basic medical science applied to modern psychology, all put together into a program that absolutely works. I'm living proof. I never thought I could diet. I'm a middle-aged white guy, enjoyed my beer and my fried foods, and I still have some. Not much, but I still have it. See, that's the thing about what Dr. Torres does. He manufactures hope. He gives you the opportunity to go do something you didn't think you could do because you don't have to give everything up. Everything in moderation is key. But if you want to lose weight, I want you to talk to Dr. Torres today. The number is 210-468-1891. It's a free call. Let him explain to you why he's been so successful. If you've got lots of questions, go to his website. It's iffhealth.com. Trust me, it's a resource. Answer the questions it asks. It'll really open your eyes. If it's time to lose weight, if you're ready to live a healthier lifestyle, heck, if you're looking for a bikini body, now's the time. Call Dr. Torres in the IFF today. It'll change your life. And when it does, I want you to come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we do have a couple of stalls could possibly slow you down. A new one on Loop 410 eastbound at Babcock. That one's in the right lane. And 410 eastbound Crossroads, disabled vehicle now off to the shoulder. Otherwise, everything else looks good. All our major freeway systems are rolling at posted speeds. We do have foggy conditions this early morning, so make sure you've got those low beams on and slow down. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in wholesale.
Carbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Carbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their best seller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Carbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Carbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, we are back from Las Vegas. So much to talk about, including we've got our Final Four.
It is set. We know who is coming to San Antonio. Now, the NFL owners, they're meeting down in Florida. We'll have the latest news coming from that.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Life is a Waterfall. Deep Thoughts by Serge Tankian. We lose ourselves.
I can't watch this dude sing.
But we find it all.
He's having a spasm when he sings.
Uh-huh.
This is just he's not quite John Mayer, but he's close.
I love this band.
I don't have to watch him.
All right. We got our Final Four here. I think San Antonio's got to feel pretty happy with the draw that we got here.
It's a heavyweight match. You invited the big hitters, and here they come.
Now, I feel like Duke, obviously a national brand, they're gonna be here in full swing. I would imagine Florida travels really well.
They will this year, yeah.
I wonder a little about Auburn, and there's going to be a good Houston contingent here. But I guess maybe if you were picking at things as the host city, maybe you wish that Houston would not have been the team to be in, because if they lose on Saturday, they're going to go home.
Yeah.
But whereas, if Tennessee fan is here, they're going to have a return Thursday. They're going to have a return flight on Tuesday,
or normally it's longer than that. Normally, if they'll book a full week. We've, at least from my time working down on the river, that after the Final Four, you'd see hotels stay full and business stay active for 4 or 5 days afterwards. People just end up staying for a minute. So
yeah, that's the one downside to having a somewhat local team is if they lose, they go home.
Yeah,
they're not staying extra nights when they could be in their own
But I'll
place.
tell you what, the hotels will be full. That's not a problem with this because you have.
You also had that golf tournament going the same weekend.
So this year that's not an issue. It's if the Houston fan loses, they'll party on Saturday, but they're gone Sunday morning.
Yeah.
They're going to head home. So that's a quarter gone. And the other half, the worst kept secret in sports is getting a ticket to the championship game is pretty easy. Because half the teams are going home.
Wait till Sunday.
If you don't have your tickets yet, San Antonio, just hold out. There'll be half the building will be available Saturday night.
Although, that's the other thing. If Houston wins Saturday,
this play's going to be
it might be a tougher ticket than normal because you tell me on short notice you can drive 3 hours and watch your team play for a title.
They'll be available, but snapped up at a price. Absolutely. Now that's a dream come true.
Now that's unfortunately, Houston probably has the smallest of the fan bases of those programs.
Yeah, I wonder if the rest of the country knows what we know about Houston. That at its heart, it's still a commuter school. At its heart, there really isn't a home base. There's a lot of University of Houstons, you know?
Yeah, but what they do, I think they're quickly learning is the basketball program is legit, and the fans of that program are legitimately rabid.
I know Houston's ate up. I have friends from Houston that, they're basketball fans, but they're Houston Rocket fans secondary. I mean, once the Cougars are done, then they dive into the Rocket fandom.
I personally was devastated. I almost had 4 out of my 4 Final Four correct.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, what a massive choke job down the stretch, unfortunately, for Grant McCaslin's boys. And
it was a cascade of events. I'm not mad at them. Big Boy got they got in early foul trouble, so that first half when they could have maybe put some gaps in there, they didn't have their best dude in there for about 12 minutes. And then they missed some free throws, and it kind of got weird, and they panicked. It was just a bunch of I don't have one. You brought up the fouling of the Hackatoppin that was going on. But he had finally found his rhythm, so I get the argument. No, I had to leave him in because he was an offensive threat, and we had to have a guy in there that could grab a rebound. I get why, but in hindsight, you go, maybe you should have done a little bit of more substituting and sacrificed some fouls from other dudes to get him in and out.
I don't even know. It feels like you almost have to try to blow a 9-point lead with 3 minutes left.
There was a sense of momentum lost. Yeah, it's. My axiom is if you have a lead at 2 minutes, a 10-point lead at 2 minutes, and you lose, and this is at 2 minutes, it's your fault as a coach. If you're a half-ass coach and you've got 2 or 3 timeouts and you're only kind of in the penalty, only in the bonus, you should be able to time out and time yourself to a win. You just should be able to do that, barring miracles. And at 3 minutes, it's almost an axiom, but not quite, because there's 3 possessions in there that you can't account for.
Yeah.
But it's about as hard as it is to do as what McCasland and his team did. You have to do things wrong in repetition. You have to do it wrong and then do it wrong again and then do something else wrong and do something else wrong. Little things. It's not one big thing. It's a little thing here. You take a shot with 3 extra seconds, and you should have waited a second. Or you turn it over late in the clock. It's okay, but you still turn it over, and they get the ball back, and they get a bucket. Little tiny things that great teams don't do, that good teams tend to do in big games.
18-4 in the final 3 minutes. Florida outscored Texas Tech. That is
Well, those last 2 buckets or 3 buckets, I'm not going to fault them for. Those were desperation dunk breakaway.
Either way,
kind of crap.
you put up 4 points yourself in the last 3 minutes. You missed several front ends. That's self-inflicted wounds, man. Self-inflicted wounds. I would have loved to see Texas Tech there. I like that team a lot. I thought Chance McMillan return gave them a real chance.
Won the game.
You're right.
The better team in the second half won the game. I wouldn't say the better team won, but the better team at the best time won the game. Tech was game.
They made it their kind of game. They slowed Florida down and just couldn't do it.
And let's give Florida some credit.
They had about 36 minutes in them.
That Walter Clayton Jr. is an absolute killer.
He's a tear.
I mean, he alone carried them into this Final Four.
And it's funny. Claymore tweeted me about him. I was like, man, I hope the Mavericks look at him wherever. The Mavericks probably picking like 9 or 10. And I was like, oh, he'll be around because NBA scouts don't particularly like him because he is a one-way player. He sucks on defense. But if you got one trick and it's that trick, man, I like you. Yeah. I like the Walter Clayton trick.
The only problem is the Mavericks had a dude like that. They understand his value. And Jalen Brunson, they're essentially the same kind of dude.
Yeah.
They didn't like that kind of thing in Dallas, so I don't think that they would be looking at him if he was available, but just because that doesn't seem to be the thing that Jason Kidd likes.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan. But he's not a first-round draft pick, but he's one of those guys that we'll always remember as just an absolute killer in college, and he'll bounce around in the league maybe.
Well, RIP to Texas Tech. That was the only competitive game of the Elite Eight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the games weren't competitive. A 10-point lead is not a blowout. It's enough to keep you interested and active as a team. You're never out of it, so you're still going at it. But that's what we had. We had a tournament that went chalk. All of these teams have played in games pretty consistently with 10-point separations. Now, Bama had one for the ages. It seems like they lost their jumper after that. But this was a chalk tournament. Again, I don't think these were great basketball games played by two really good teams.
You thought – I honestly –
these were
I didn't think
high-level played games.
I thought there was one good game all weekend.
Good game and competitive games are two different things. I mean, all of the teams this week played well. Nobody played poorly.
Tennessee played like ass.
Well, they played against a team that understood them and went and just took them out of their game. But even as ass as they played, they stayed within 10 points. I mean, they were there and executed when required. They just played a better basketball team. The teams that are here deserve to be here. They were the best teams.
When you're down 19 at halftime and you lose by 19, you weren't competitive.
That competitive, they didn't lose by 19.
They did.
Well, the game was over at that point about 10 minutes to go in the game. I mean, about 8 minutes to go. There was a Zaire foul. What was it, about 8 minutes to go, and they couldn't get their scorer back in, and it got away from them. But I never felt like Tennessee was gone. They never let them back in.
Man, I felt like they were gone 5 or 6 minutes into the game. I said,
no, it seemed imminent.
They are dead because,
I'll say the most imminent game to me was Alabama.
Oh,
I knew
Bama
was done
too.
within about 6 or 7 minutes because Bama was playing the kind of game to get their guy open, and he couldn't get Sears open. No matter how they tried, there was just no answer. Tennessee was just missing shots. I mean, they just weren't falling, but they had the shots available to them. Alabama, while it stayed 10 points all game long, they never had a prayer. I mean, it was never, ever going to happen for them. So while that never felt like it was out of hand of all 4 games, I knew early on Bama would – at least Tennessee, you felt like they might turn around and make some shots. It wasn't like they weren't available. They just weren't making them. Alabama couldn't even find the open man. I mean, there was just nothing to be had.
And then the Auburn-Michigan State game, the final score is much closer than that game was. That was not it was not particular. I mean,
that one was marred by injury.
Yeah,
In
unfortunately.
hindsight, we'll look back, and he was seriously hurt and probably shouldn't have been in that game.
Well, we got to figure out that's the maybe the biggest question going into the Final Four. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we do have a couple of stalls could possibly slow you down. A new one on Loop 410 eastbound at Babcock. That one's in the right lane. And 410 eastbound Crossroads, disabled vehicle now off to the shoulder. Otherwise, everything else looks good. All our major freeway systems are rolling at posted speeds. We do have foggy conditions this early morning, so make sure you've got those low beams on and slow down. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Whataburger. Good morning. For a limited time, stop by from 6 to 11 a.m. daily and get the $5 breakfast Whata deal. Either a taquito or honey butter chicken biscuit and any drink for just $5. Available only at Whataburger.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself anymore, testosterone therapy or TRT may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. With over a decade of TRT experience, book your appointment at SynergenicsHealth.com.
Your marriage is over. You know it, your friends know it. Take back control now with Barton & Associates, an aggressive, no-nonsense team of attorneys ready to fight for what you deserve. Contact us today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Come on in to Total Wine & More. Prices much lower than a grocery store. Wine, beer for a whole lot less. Walking down the aisles makes you stop and say, yes. From mixing cocktails to a friendly get-together, Total Wine has everything you need and more. With the lowest prices and best selection for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything you need. More than 135 degree and certificate programs, online and hybrid courses, dedicated success coaches, and more from a top military and veteran trusted university for over 75 years. Classes start soon. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You want to add more excitement watching games? Make sure you download the Underdog app. Jason Minix here. Baseball is back, and you can make opening day and every other game day more exciting with Underdog. Play the Pick'em game where you choose whether a player will go higher or lower on their stats. So download the Underdog app. Sign up now using the promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code STAR. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The big question now is going to be John Broom's health. And, I mean, that's kind of the one dark cloud that hung over Auburn winning, because it was a good win for them. And Auburn really is one of the teams that hasn't had a whole lot of stress in this tournament. Like, you know, for a team that people were kind of forgetting about coming into it, they've sort of rolled through things. And
they were
then
the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, but people were still. I mean, they'd lost 3 out of 4 going into the tournament. They'd fallen to 4th in the odds. It was like, I don't know. It just felt like people were starting to doubt Auburn. And now, I mean, if Broome hadn't gotten hurt in that game, I'd pick Auburn confidently to beat Florida. Just because I felt like Florida has shown some chinks in their armor in this tournament.
Well, they haven't had anything easy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe the Maryland game, they were able to get some separation. The rest of them have been real dogfight games. You mentioned that UConn game, and then obviously the Texas Tech game. They've been in some battles. But without Broome, Auburn is just a good team.
Yeah.
You're talking about probably the
player of the year.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be. Is it decided him or Flag? When do they do that? When do they give that out?
Probably split, but no, we haven't got the award yet.
Okay, well, either way, but those two guys are both player of the year caliber guys. You can't lose that guy and expect to be the same. And remember, this Florida team went to Auburn already once and smacked them around.
So deep, man. They're so deep. 7 deep. There's 6 starters and they're 7 deep. Where they legitimately frontline, no problem. They bore a new star this weekend.
Hoff. Yeah, he hadn't played a whole lot.
He got more time because their starter got kind of dinged up to start the game. So what does he do? Offer the game of his life at the perfect time. Whoever was doing colors said, this guy's made millions over the weekend. And he did. This guy will be probably the hottest possible transfer because he's probably not going pro. And that's just the 4th best guy on Florida right now. So, and above that, Duke might have been the most impressive team of all of them over the weekend.
Yeah.
Now, again, they weren't highly competitive. Well, they were competitive to the extent that the teams fought hard and played high end to stay in it. But there is no doubt that the right teams are here. I mean, we have got the teams that are from the brackets that should be here. The 1 seeds got here for a reason. They're that good.
Yeah, it did feel like they separated themselves. And again, the only team that was really worried, at least in the last round, was Florida. Everybody else ended up kind of coasting to a win. I think Duke knew about 10 minutes in.
Oh, we got them.
They were booking flights.
They had already figured out what Sears was doing. They weren't going to let Big Boy roll to the hole, and it was all over.
And I think Houston was about 10 minutes in. They were booking flights. I think Auburn booked flights about 10 minutes in, and then Broome got hurt, and they got the call, hey, hold those flights. Don't make sure they're refundable.
In hindsight, you're going to wonder when you go back and look at the game film, he was hanging his arm down. He didn't bend it for 5 minutes. I mean, they kind of needed him. I mean, at least to be the threat that he was. He even got a bucket or 2.
I mean, nobody else on that team played particularly well. He was so dominant in the first half. There was no answer for him. And if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, he might have had 30.
Well, he got him in foul trouble early. They got dinged up late, and it was just enough. But they can run with anybody if you let them run, even without Broome. That's a fast, good shooting basketball team, and they share the ball as they're a Bruce Pearl team through and through. But to offer 40 minutes without Broome, or at least you need him better than 80% against what's coming. This is truly your problem will be picked apart. You've got 4 great coaches and 4 teams that can execute. If you've got a weakness, it'll be found and completely dissected.
Well, and the other thing about Broome is he takes away anything easy at the rim. Like, there's nothing cheap at the rim when he's in the game.
I'll tell you what, he's going to be. I attack him from the get-go. You're going to have to prove to me you've got a right arm.
Yeah, and that's what teams. I'm sure that's what Florida's plan is. And Florida's got, outside of Broome and Dylan Cardwell, Auburn doesn't have size. Like those 2 guys are their size, which means, and they both start, so there is no real front court depth. Florida has like 4 dudes who are 6'10" or bigger that they're going to keep throwing at you.
It's going to be right at Broome. It's going to be you're going to have to prove otherwise. That's the one matchup that is glaring coming into the weekend. And, we're not going to know if I'm Pearl. Nobody's going to know Broom's status until literally tip.
Hell
I
no.
mean, nobody's going to see him. He's going to be in rehab
and honestly,
for the next 5 straight days.
I think that's why, I kind of think Pearl brought him back so people would think that there's a chance he can play, he can be back, because there was nothing I saw of him when he came back on the floor that made me feel like he should have been out there.
No, it was go back and look at the bit. I mean, he wasn't there was a reason why he was on the backside of every play, because he couldn't play a role on offense. He defended okay, but offensively, there wasn't anything there.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll wrap up hour number 1. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. And it's all about having a great time. Grab your buddies and ladies too and hit the course for a fun, laid-back day of golf, laughs, and a little friendly competition at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, April 14th. It's just $120 a player or $400 for a foursome. A solid deal for a day of good times with your crew. The Spring Golf Classic benefits the Pan American Golf Association. But don't worry, this isn't some motorhomes. After you've crushed it on the course, join us at the Hangar Bar and Grill on Potranco for the ultimate after party. Cold drinks, great food, and good times with all of your buddies. So grab your spot, grab your crew, and tee off for a day of unforgettable fun. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
San Antonio, the NCAA 2025 Men's Final Four is coming April 4th through the 7th. Check out Reese's Men's Final Four Friday, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can watch open practices and the Reese's NABC All-Star Game at the Alamo Dome for free. And for the music lovers, March Madness Music Festival, presented by AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, with 3 days of free concerts, featuring the biggest acts in music at Tower Park and Hemisphere. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Spring is here, and in South Texas, that means storms, wind, rain, and hail. If you've been hit by a storm or think you have damage, now is the time to contact Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. Don't put your trust in an out-of-town storm chaser. Stevens Roofing is a family-owned, locally based company who will be here for years to come. The team at Stevens Roofing and Solar will give you peace of mind when the storms come rolling in. Call 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I wish that I could fly so very high. Exactly like a dragonfly. It is Morning Huddle 94.1. Well, Final Four set. We got the 4 best teams. I think this is what everybody was kind of hopeful for. Again, there's some people who like a little bit of drama, like a Cinderella type team, but generally the great thing about this is we know that we're going to have 3 great games, or at least 3.
The whole tournament, we have gotten the best games possible. That's the idea of seeding. There's upsets, and that's fun. But when we go into games, we like the upset and the finality of that. We don't like the next step when the upset FAU suddenly has to go someplace that we don't care about, or they're suddenly just mincemeat for the next super school to come down the pike. I think another part of this year that has been a lot of fun, most people's brackets look pretty damn good.
Of course they do.
You know, but from the average Joe that only pays attention to basketball one time a year and fills out their brackets, this is the best year they've ever had.
Yeah.
You know, so I think viewership reflects the idea that even though you're 10 millionth, you're in the 87th percentile because you got, you know what I mean? So that you feel good about your brackets. If you don't have 3 teams in the Final Four, what the hell?
Yeah.
Seriously, you were out on a ledge. So it improved viewership. We've seen nothing but high-end basketball. Only one real injury has affected outcome, and even that hasn't affected outcome. So this has been an A+ for me. No, when one shining moment hits, we're only going to have, 3 buzzer beaters or 3 close ones?
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I like it when the good teams win, when better teams do the best things to win good games. That's what I like, and that's what I've gotten.
I think we're going to there's a couple games that like big comeback games. Texas Tech was on both sides of one, and back-to-back. Like they came back against Arkansas in a game. They looked dead in the water. They let Florida come back. There's always going to be those, like the kids from Arkansas hanging their heads, and then the kids from Texas Tech will be 2 days later hanging their heads. But the one thing that was kind of missing from this, I guess, was any big upsets. Of all the games that were lined at 7 points or greater. So that means anybody was a 7-point favorite or longer, only one of those teams lost the entire tournament, and that was round 1. Clemson lost to McNeese as 7-point favorites. So no mega upsets. I don't think Clemson losing in round 1 was a mega upset. It was like
any other year it would have been. This year we knew.
That was a good McNeese team. Yeah. The ACC stunk all year. Like it wasn't a shock.
But you're right. There's no Bryce Drew moment. There's no Tyus Edney coast to coast that we're never going to forget. There was that opening, the very first game of the tournament, we had the deep pass win. But that to me, yeah, that looks great on that one shining moment. What I will remember about this tournament was every game as the tournament progressed, improving in caliber, and that's when favored win. Better teams won, which created even a better game the next game, which created even a better game the next game. We are truly through the sieve to the choke point of we have the 4 best teams here. That's what I want.
Well, to me, and I think you and I disagree on whether or not the games the last 2 days were good games. But what I will say is, had there been some upsets, had it not been Tennessee or Alabama or Texas Tech, like these high caliber teams that got beat up yesterday and the day before, had it been instead of one of those, had it been Missouri or UCLA, it would have been awful. Like, see, it's because if the tier 2 teams couldn't make competitive games with these
absolutely.
4, who the hell was gonna?
So that's very true. But when you do this,
imagine it's St. Mary's in the finals against Florida instead of
We've had it. We've seen it the last couple of years where those teams show up and you go, you don't have a chance. You can't recreate this yet again. You finally will regress at least to the mean or even beneath that because you've been riding this wave. This year you have 4 teams coming that all, in their mind and many believe, they got enough to win it, and they're all right. Every one of them has enough to win it, and normally you can't say that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't feel like I've got a great feel for who's going to win this thing.
I can make it a case for every team, every one of them.
You have – how about this? How about the 3 best offensive teams in the country by offensive efficiency rating? 1, 2, and 3.
And
the 4th one is number 10.
Got knocked out, yeah.
But the 4th one also happens to be the best defensive team in the country. all 4 of these teams are top 10 in offense and defense.
Well, that's why they're here. I mean, that's 1 through 4 seeds. They were the teams all year long. By about middle of December, we had a good idea they were in the upper quarter. By the end of February, they looked like they were all top 10, and here they sit, all worthy, every one of them. And we can – it's not a singular guy team. It's teams that were built that have history. It's exactly what in your hopes when you put together a tournament, this is what you hope to get, because that's why we seed teams, so we get the very best at the end. They should have the easier road, and here they sit.
Yep. So to me, this is ideal. I know there's people who are, I would have liked to. I'm all for upsets in round 1. That first weekend, I like upsets. After that, I want the best teams to win. That's what we got. I ain't mad at it one bit. Like I said, I had a personal affection for that Texas Tech team.
I had Bama.
I thought they could do it. I said fully healthy. I thought that they would be good enough. And you know what? They were about, 3 minutes away from being good enough.
Well, the ball didn't lie. I mean, they snuck one away, and then it went the other direction.
Well, they
went
didn't
even
remember.
Steven.
They didn't get they didn't have McMillan for that Arkansas game, and you could tell. I mean, he makes such a difference for them opening up shooting. But again,
I think
against an elite team.
I think they were discombobulated with him. I think they were a little concerned about getting him the ball early. That kind of threw them off a little bit. Not that they didn't need him and value what he brought, but early on, I think they had gotten comfortable without him, and then he kind of came in, and there was a little bit of the offense wasn't quite as fluid, and there was a turnover early that led to a foul by their big man. That it was his second foul. We had to go sit out about 10 minutes into the game, and it was because McMillan was kind of out of place, and I think it was at the end of the day they did the right thing. He was a better player, but it took him a little bit to adjust to him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They missed free throws. That to me, that's at the end of the day.
They panicked.
They missed They choked. They missed free throws. They choked. I'm not blaming and bringing back McMillan. I think you had to do it.
No, you had to play him. But I think it took a couple of minutes early in that game to kind of get used to him out there. Hey, we got another option.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we get 2 SEC teams, a Big 12 team, and the only worthy ACC team. The Big 10 gets shut out. I guess Michigan State was the best of the bunch. I was never in love with this Michigan State team.
I was never in love with any of the Big Ten teams. They just played a style, and every one of them was typical Big Ten, tough as nails, and you had to out-tough them to win. And it carried them through 2 wins, 3 wins for those Big Ten teams. But in the end, they just didn't have the Jimmies and Joes. There just wasn't any separator.
Well, the one that had the Jimmies and Joe, Illinois, didn't.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot.
They couldn't put the rest of it together. So, again, we've got the right teams here. Now it's just a matter of who comes out on top. Right, the early numbers, you've got Auburn as a 2.5, close to 3-point dog in this one. Houston a 4.5, close to 5-point dog.
Sounds about right.
Houston hasn't lost a game by more than 5 points all year long.
Oh, it's going to tighten up. But it's going to tighten up. But we're going to dissect that offense for a week.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for these games. All right. We'll keep it rolling. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Your marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. Take back control now with Barton & Associates, an aggressive, no-nonsense team of attorneys ready to fight for what you deserve. Contact us today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
The Easter Bunny? He's lost his dazzle. His tail? Flatter than a pancake.
Yeah, no more poof, see?
And those eggs? They're supposed to be spiffy, colorful, full of magic, but the trap, streaky, like they've been kissed by dust bunnies.
And when the cabbage we're shelling out for eggs, they ought to be the cat's pajamas. But nope, everything's on the fritz, and we know why.
Hard water.
Nasty build-up, filmy gunk. It's giving the whole shebang the heebie-jeebies.
It needs a Kinetico. Their non-electric, high-efficiency water softness make water the bee's knees. Your skin, smoother than a gangster's alibi. And eggs?
Gleaming like gold in a G-Man's pocket.
For a limited time, get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off for trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Kinetico of San Antonio and the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE. That's 210-656-PURE.
It's a limited time, so hop to it, see?
License number 38961.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? At MD Hearing, we call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic need everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Sandra Porps, head of audiology at MD Hearing. If you or a loved one have trouble hearing but don't want to waste thousands for a hearing aid, MD Hearing was created for you by doctors and audiologists. A high-quality, FDA-registered hearing aid for a fraction of the price. No costly doctor visits, no expensive and time-consuming fittings, no bulky, old-fashioned hearing aids that cost thousands. The MD Hearing Neo is just $297 per pair. It's rechargeable and fits discreetly in your ear. Even better, it lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 90% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing risk-free for 45 days by calling 800-918-3920. Plus, you'll get free shipping. Call now, 800-918-3920. That's 800-918-3920.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a disabled vehicle on Loop 410 eastbound at Babcock. It's in the right lane. A little bit of stop and go from Evers. 1604 eastbound at Huebner. That stall taking up a right lane. Getting reports of a minor accident right at the intersection of Huebner at Babcock and slowing down along 35 southbound Schertz Parkway on down to O'Connor. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
It's an all number one seed affair coming to San Antonio as the top four seeds are coming for only the second time in the event's history. The other was in 2008 when Kansas, Memphis, UCLA, and North Carolina reached the Final Four. The Spurs had a rough weekend, dropping 2, losing to the Boston Celtics on Saturday, 121-111. Yesterday, getting bombed by the Golden State Warriors. Final score, 148-106. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7:01 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. AJ and Rob getting you through on a Monday.
It'll be a busy week.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the rundown of the Valero Texas Open Pro-Am. Getting going today.
What's the? They do like a draw, right? Like in there, and how it works. Like there's a random draw for what?
Well, you have to, you kind of buy your way into that room, but after that, there's a draw to get to see who gets to play with whom. But I imagine those that have thicker wallets get to have a better choice.
No one offered me to play. I'm not sure what happened.
You could have paid your way in too.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Rob.
I played in a Pro-Am one time in my life, and no. I don't like playing in front of people like that. I don't like.
No, it'd be miserable.
And I was playing with a pro that wanted nothing to do with me.
Oh, really?
Didn't want to talk to us. Was not there.
He was getting the job done.
Yeah, I don't even remember the guy's name. He might not have spoken English.
He was probably trying to just work a practice round.
Pretty much, and literally, I don't think we ever said a word to each other. That's why I can't even remember his name.
Really?
Yeah, and it was not an enjoyable experience, other than the fact that I got to do all the act like a pro.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for that. This will be my first weekend doing that here in San Antonio. My first Final Four here in San Antonio. Well, at least while I worked here. I guess before we move on from the hoops, and we'll obviously talk plenty more as the week goes on. But first thoughts on Florida Auburn. What do you think? How do you think this matchup looks? What's your early guess?
Obviously, you think Cooper Flagg in that front line, and how smart Duke plays basketball. They're not going to give you anything, and they defend so well. And Florida's depth. Florida just keeps bringing guards at you. They're also big. I think it's going to come down to the front line. I think whoever wins that offensive rebounding game probably has a little bit of a leg up, just because I think more opportunities in this game will mean a win, because neither team's really going to turn the ball over. You're going to have to go get it to add possessions. So I give Duke just a hair of an advantage, because their front line with Maluch, who is just
Florida. We're talking Florida and Auburn.
Oh
yeah.
I like Florida's size. At the end of the day, I think Florida's size is going to be the problem with Auburn, and I'm going to withhold judgment until I know more about Green. I thought we were talking title game. I like Florida, and I probably would have liked Florida fully healthy, just because of precedent. They know how to do it.
When they won that first time in Auburn, they hit 13 threes against Auburn. Auburn's they're the best 3-point defense in the SEC, one of the best in the country, and Florida just went off on that particular day. I don't know how repeatable that is, but I without knowing the health of Broome, it's hard for me to pick against Florida. Fully healthy, I think I would pick Auburn here, because I think Auburn would make some adjustments, and I don't think that it's repeatable for Florida to hit 13 threes again. But it's hard for me to back Auburn, because, again, he didn't look like he should have been on the floor when he came back from that injury, and he hurt his ankle and his elbow at the same time. I don't know which one is worse.
Well, his elbow didn't move. I'd hate to think his ankle's worse, because his elbow
he was still
awful.
limping the whole time. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to bet against Florida right now. In the other game, I know I'm going to be in the
Duke-Houston game will be. I can tell who you like by the bet you make, and I'm not talking about by the winner and loser and who's going to cover. It's total points. If you like low, you like Houston. If you like 70 or 75 or more, you like Duke. I mean, it's going to come down to that. If it's a defensive struggle and there are limited possessions, Houston's going to win this game. They're going to win it. They're going to win the close one. If it's a little bit more free-flowing, tougher called game where Duke's allowed to flow a little bit more, Duke's going to win it. It's going to be the score to me is the barometer. And I'm not talking the high score wins. I'm just talking about if it's a low score, and if we're about 30-32 in the first half, the odds on Houston winning this thing are high, because you're playing their game. If Duke can get out and add some possessions, then I like them. They certainly have the stars to separate. This time, I kind of lean towards stars in these big games.
I mean, they're certainly the most talented team. There is no doubt about it. And they were able to they beat Houston last year in the Sweet 16. That was without Jamal Shedd, which was a big deal.
Two different teams, entirely different teams.
But I do think there is also something to this being John Shire's first Final Four,
and he is on the lesser end of the coaching. I'm not saying he's
no, I
not
don't think
good,
he's a bad
but
coach.
he's the least experienced, which
Yeah, and there's something to that, I think, and I'll go with Houston in the second game. I think that Houston finds a way to ugly this up. I think they get the job done. That team just feels so confident to me, and it's one thing with Duke. Again, they're going to have the star players, and they've got the most talent. I don't think that intimidates Houston at all. Like I don't think it does. No. I don't think they ever look at the name on the back of your jersey. No. I don't think they care. You're just another body to them.
They are going to have, the front line. They're going to have to be so tough and so defend without fouling, because they can't afford to go small against Duke, because even at their full height, you got Cooper Flagg, who's essentially a ball-handling forward. They just have got to keep their height in the game. They don't have to score a bunch, but they got to be a defensive presence, and they can't play soft, because the moment that there's a chance to get the ball in the lane, Duke's going to take control of the game. It's going to be that tough. But the thing about Houston is they're old enough and mature enough not to get rattled.
That's the thing. There's a bunch of juniors and seniors against a bunch of young kids.
So you do give them the edge of experience and toughness, but Duke's been through it, and Cooper Flagg, at every opportunity when he could have done something wrong, he did it right.
Nope,
and he just keeps amazing me.
I do think there is something to, that's what I keep hearing is, Houston's not big enough, but it's not like they were bigger earlier in the season. They've been this size all year long, and they keep finding ways to do it.
Well, they're a good shooting team. They got the best three-point ratio in the country as far as shots made. Now, they're not a volume, so they don't give up a lot of bad shots. You can play smaller when you're like that, but when you're playing a team like this, where you've got two, really three big studs coming out at you, and Cooper Flagg, I give him kind of a half of a big man. I mean, he's size-wise, but he doesn't play big.
What's the biggest team in the country?
Yeah, they
man
just
for man.
are so tough, but it's hard for me to get away from Houston's just absolute tenacity. They never, ever stop. That ball has blood on it, and they chase it. I mean, it's just an unbelievable effort to watch Houston play, because they never slow down, ever.
I think it's almost as simple as this. Who wins the rebound battle? Because if possessions, that means extra possessions, offensive rebounds, and turnovers. Neither one of these teams turn the ball over. The difference is Duke doesn't force turnovers. Houston does. So can Duke protect the ball, and can Houston, despite being much smaller, snag some extra possessions with offensive rebounds? If they do,
they win.
I think they win.
And it's going to be, and we talk about them undersized. They have length. They're 6'8". They got a 7'1" wingspan. They have length. They're just not tall, which helps in the passing lanes. It doesn't help a lot with post defense, though. So it's rock and hard place. It's frying pan fire. It's whoever inflicts their will wins, and I can tell by the score. If it's low, if it's in the 60s, Houston's going to win the game. Duke doesn't have it to win that kind of game. If it's in the upper 70s, Houston doesn't have the offense to keep up with Duke if it's there. So I think officials are going to matter. I would like, if I'm either team, I'd like to see a Big Ten crew there. I want to be able to get away with some stuff. I don't want an ACC offensive kind of reffing. I'd rather Big East, Big Ten kind of reffing come into this and swallow your whistle. Let's let us play. Or maybe in the other game, I might not necessarily want that. I think Auburn wants fouls to be called. So I think officiating is going to matter. But as far as inflicting their will, all four, if they inflict it, win. And all four are capable of it. Best possible scenario.
Duke, in their 3 losses this year, gave up 71, 72, 70 points. That's that seems to be the number. If you can, or they scored.
Yeah.
So if you can hold them to that, you're in pretty good shape. If you hold Duke to 70 points, I think Houston beats them.
Yeah.
But again, that's easier said than done.
No one has yet. But
that is a really talented team, man. Really talented. And this Houston team they lost to Alabama. They held Alabama to 80 points in overtime. So in 45 minutes, Alabama scored 80. Texas Tech scored 82 in 45 minutes. This is a good defensive team, man. They're not going to let you run over them.
You love you some Houston. You're going to talk your way all the way through this. I'm not all the way in on them.
I'll just say this. Houston, more than any team in this field, I trust not to get embarrassed, not to get blown out. I just don't think that team is blowoutable.
Well, they're not blowoutable, but they are the least effective offensive team. They rely so much on their defense to offer that. So if the team they're playing holds their own on the boards and doesn't turn the ball over, they're going to have to find some offense that they have periodically, but they haven't found it all at once. The other star, Wu-Tang, whatever him, that guy has found some buckets. Wuzon periodically. LJ has had his ups and downs. So if they can both find their offense, I like it. I'm just going to have to be convinced
Gotta
because
hit shots.
I saw Duke dominate Bama in every facet. And Bama was the best offensive team I've seen.
But Bama's also a bad defensive team.
No, I'm not talking about defense. I'm just talking about what Duke did to that offense that unleashed the night before.
No, you're right. You're right. But they did. The length bothered Alabama, and that's something that you do have to worry about for sure. So, again, fun games, man.
Oh, I'm not going to give into, it's, scratch, and it's just went all the way in. It's the usual suspects. Yes. When was the last time? It's been 15 years since we've had anything remotely like this. 16, 17
I'm all right with it
years.
every once. I don't want it every year. I'm good with it sometimes.
I'm afraid, and that's a discussion for when we debrief on all this, I'm afraid this is going to become the norm.
I think it's going to be more common than it has been in the past. All right. When we come back, we'll get off college hoops for just a bit. We'll dig into the world of the NBA and some NFL notes. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is back. And it's all about having a great time. Grab your buddies and ladies too. Hit the course for a fun, laid-back day of golf, laughs, and a little friendly competition at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, April 14th. It's just $120 a player or $400 for a foursome. A solid deal for a day of good times with your crew. The Spring Golf Classic benefits the Pan American Golf Association. But don't worry, this isn't some After you've crushed it on the course, join us at the Hangar Bar and Grill on Potranco for the ultimate after party. Cold drinks, great food, and good times with all of your buddies. So grab your spot, grab your crew, and tee off for a day of unforgettable fun. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
San Antonio, are you ready? The 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four is coming to the Alamo City. The NCAA Men's Final Four Fan Fest, presented by Capital One, brings fun for all ages. Fan Fest is a sports wonderland of interactive games with celebrity and athlete appearances, giveaways, and much more. Come ready to play April 4th through the 7th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The event is free for kids 12 and under, Capital One card holders, military personnel, and 2025 Final Four ticket holders. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I named my boat Sure Don't. Get it? The other day when my friend said, "Hey Larry, you want to head back in? It looks like it might rain." I said, "Sure don't." I guess they didn't get it because they didn't laugh.
Whatever you call your boat, protected by insuring it with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys & Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Maybe the Cowboys need to make a trade for Joe Milton.
You really think this is the guy? Like, I can see Jerry and Steven going, yeah, that's the guy. I mean, seriously.
Name me a franchise who you're excited about who the backup quarterback is. I mean,
Baltimore.
So after Cooper Rush gets fired, you decide you like Cooper Rush. I'm with you, but I mean,
it's not that I like Cooper Rush. It was he was dependable. You knew what you were getting.
Yes.
Cowboys have no clue. If something happens to Dak, you have no idea what's going to happen.
But I know my expectations, whether it be Cooper Rush or Joe Milton or Joe Reinagel, if Dak is hurt, the Cowboys season is essentially over. I mean, he might be able to keep the boat afloat for a little while, but eventually it's going to sink.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Is my mind playing tricks on me?
On the bracket, yeah. Texas Tech did.
Man, they did play tricks on me.
Yeah.
Damn. How about the Pistons and why is it every time there's an NBA fight the Pistons are involved?
Always Detroit.
Always, yeah.
These damn Midwesterners don't know how to act.
Yeah, we're just watching it right now on ESPN.
Bunch of wild animals up there. JB Bickerstaff and I mean Control. I say Control. He was part of the problem. He's one of the guys who got booted.
A couple things for us old heads. When was it allowed for you to get off the bench again? When did they legalize that?
I thought it was never. Yeah, I thought you were automatic ejection.
Stood up, man, you were gone. Ask the Phoenix
you go
Suns
on the
ramifications of that. Yeah, man. So I have a feeling that's going to be reinstated.
I think it might be.
But I will tell you honestly, it was a bit of a breath of fresh air. When was the last time you watched an NBA game where half the players gave a crap about what was going on?
You're right.
Those were two teams that desperately care about the outcome. They're both playing for a position. Detroit has a chance. Minnesota's trying to find their footing. At least they gave a crap. I'm not saying it was the prettiest thing I've seen, and the NBA should be kind of embarrassed. But there's some little want-to going on in late March, at least.
Yeah. How about Pablo Prigioni getting in the mix? I don't even know how old he is, but he can't be young. He's older than me for sure.
I hope he has enough money for the fine that's coming.
He's in the mix of it. Dante DiVincenzo, a long-known thug.
I'm not sure if he was the instigator, but he was right. He was in the first echelon of fight. He grabbed, was it the rookie for Detroit, right?
Ron Holland, yeah.
So he grabbed Holland, and Holland went down on top of him, and then the scrum showed up, and I never could figure out what happened. I know Isaiah Collier came out bleeding.
Yeah. And Marcus Sasser, of course, there was a Houston guy in the mix.
Thug.
All of them.
Guy.
All of us. You're right. Kind of fun to see every once in a while.
Yeah, it's ugly and it's embarrassing and no one wants to see it. But for me, as a guy who, we had this long discussion last week with LeBron talking about I could play in the 90s. You telling me I couldn't take lame beer? Well, last night you got a little bit of 90s basketball.
Yeah.
They might not have been able to physically do what they can do now, but they could throw a punch better then as anybody else could.
So I guess, did you see who had to go over after the melee and got into it? Alex Rodriguez, the new owner of the Timberwolves, was there, and I guess some kid got hurt. So he was like calling for help for some kid who got hurt.
Lawsuit.
Oh, God. I just got here. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Either way, Pistons fall 123-104. 16-point lead. They blew it. Elsewhere in the NBA, Kevin Durant. Exactly. Yeah. Steps on Jabari Smith's foot and has to leave the game in the third quarter of a, quite frankly, embarrassing loss to the Rockets at home. A 39-point loss in your house.
And it wasn't going well when he got hurt.
No.
It wasn't like there was a shift in the tide. The thing that worries me about Durant is this is a cat who's been through ankle injuries, and he knows what it feels like to be hurt, and he looked like he knew something bad had just happened.
Yep. Sadly, very sadly, the 39-point road win for Houston was not even the biggest road win
hold
of the
my
day
beer.
yesterday.
Warrior said, hold my beer.
Because the Spurs of San Antonio lost a home game by 42 points.
And they did it in just 4 quarters, ladies and gentlemen. You know how hard it is to do? To give up 148 points in 4 quarters? That's willful. You have to try to give up that many points.
42 points?
You lost by 42 points in a 4-quarter game and gave up 148 points.
That is crazy. That I don't don't know how that can happen. What's wild is it wasn't one of those nights where the Spurs shot usually when the Spurs get blown out like that, they shoot 32% from 3. No, they shot 38% from 3, which is somewhat respectable.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for them, the Warriors shot 48%.
Oh, that's you got to play defense too.
Yeah, that part of the game still seems to be important.
Last night was what do you say about a 148-point give up at home? I mean, that's just go take a shower and go home, boys. I mean, that's the words I want to use, I'd get me in trouble. That's embarrassing. It's humiliating. You're professionals. You're getting paid. At the very least, we expect some effort. At the very least, and I'll stand by it. But last night it is not true. Franchises tank, players don't. Players got to put film out. Players have a career to think of. Nobody was thinking about their career last night. There was nothing good came from last night. Nothing anybody's proud of. Nobody can hang their head about what they did last night.
How often this season have the Spurs had 3 starters play 18 minutes, 1 played 20, 1 played 22.
Well, it's not like they deserved to keep playing.
No, but they were like, yep, you're out. That's that. Keldon Johnson led the scoring with 19 off the bench. That was matched by Buddy Hield, who came off the bench for the Warriors and put up 19, but Podzimski had 25.
Yeah, you made him an all-star.
Moses Moody had 20. It was like they said, hey, Draymond, Jimmy, Steph, you guys take it easy tonight. We'll get you some rest.
How many more games? 12, 13?
What are we up to? That's 74. 8 games left.
8 games?
8 games left.
Thank God. I'm sorry for anybody.
This does feel like a rabid dog
anybody
situation.
Who showed up to either game. I mean, Friday night, the Celtics are in town. You never know. And they offered enough. And it was only lose by 10. I mean, nothing humiliating about losing to the world champs by 10 at home. And then Sunday rolls around, and, people had to make a choice. I could stay home and watch compelling basketball, or I could spend $500 and go watch a bunch of children stand around and give a bunch of old men a 148-point opportunity. They made a conscious decision, paid money to go watch a lesser product.
Yeah. This 4-game losing streak, they are losing by an average of 21.5 points per game.
That is biblical. And keep in mind, the teams we're playing, they're not all desperate to get in the playoffs either. It's not like, Golden State cares. Celtics, they're on, they're skating, but we're losing to teams that don't give a crap either.
Yeah, it's bad. I want it to be over. Again, my excitement for this season burned out probably about 2 months ago. It's at a very, it's not even a warm flame at this point.
No, it is. Let's coast to the finish on fumes. Please, gosh, anybody that we care about don't get hurt.
Yeah,
and let's just get out of here with our
I'm
dignity.
At this point throwing water on the fire just so Smokey the Bear doesn't come and give me a ticket. Like that's how my flame is burning for this season for the Spurs. It is ugly.
It's ugly. Ugly. What about Memphis, man? Can you imagine? That's some turmoil, man. This is not unheard of, but just about unprecedented.
I don't know if it's
had you heard anything from anybody that there was even an issue? Other than the fight last week on the sidelines?
This time last week, Memphis was, the 3 seed in the West? Now their coach is fired. What the hell's going on here?
Wow! I cannot wait to find out what's going on behind the scenes.
I don't totally understand it. I guess generally when that happens, usually it's at the behest of the star player,
him or me.
Do you think Ja?
All I can, again, not plugged into the Memphis market, not like we used to when we had some former Spurs there that would let us in on some info. But the tussle on the sidelines last Tuesday, Wednesday, between Desmond Bain and Adame, the Spanish kid who's having a good year, when they pushed each other over, that's the only outward, symptom of what happened. It's not about wins and losses. Now, you can quibble about some of the losses, but it's not about that. He didn't get fired for that. I haven't heard Ja come out and say anything to the negative, but obviously it was terminal. Right before the playoffs, that's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, very odd. And the GM, Zach Kleiman, he came out and said, I didn't talk to any players about this. This was this is all me making this decision. But Taylor Jenkins, for the most part, has been successful. He's not hadn't made a deep playoff run or anything, but they're in it every year. It feels like,
and he is driving. He's captaining a ship through some stormy waters, man. His star player missed most of the years carrying
guns around.
He has done what have assumed a yeoman type job. Now you can quibble about wins and losses and whether they're improving and all that kind of stuff, but on the outside, that's not why you got let go. And to head into this with who's their new coach? I can't even. Tuomas Asalo.
Yeah.
It's a bold move there, Cotton. Bold move.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is the right answer. I'm not sure this is the right answer. After last year, obviously last year was a disaster, but the 2 years before that, you won your division. You've got things cooking. obviously, last year there's no way you can fault Taylor Jenkins for that.
They've drafted well. It's a well put together team. Bigs, littles, backups. They shoot well.
Defense.
They've spent money on free agents. It seems like they've done everything appropriate, and Taylor's done a good job with what he's been given. We'll find out. I know Ja probably is upset. There's something behind the scenes. Maybe he's not getting enough touches or something to that effect, but that's something you do at the end of the season.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you think that this is a nightmare scenario.
Ja's what? He's every other day anyway? Man, on a weekend where we saw the coaching carousel turn and the coaches portal is never closed. And I'm kind of angry with how Maryland went down. That was kind of unfortunate. And Xavier and the mess. But when an NBA coach gets fired like this, you go, man, I understand long-term contracts and jumping through the portal because if you can get fired for this, nothing's safe.
Speaking of that, well, let's on the other side take a look at some of those coaching moves in college hoops and the rumors that you may have some feelings about the next
Buzz
one.
might have a suitor. We might have to tell him he's pretty. Take him out for a nice meal.
We'll do that next. Morning Huddle on 94.1. I got to tell you about Carbach. Carbach Brewing, a Houston brewery that has made San Antonio their second home, and they've done a great job of that. When they first decided we're going to branch outside of Houston, the first market they said we want to be in was San Antonio. They said we're going to make this a San Antonio thing, and they've done a great job with it. You can find their beer in all the H-E-Bs, all the grocery stores, all the liquor stores, obviously. But it's in a lot more bars and restaurants than you would think, too. So if you're looking for Love Street, which is their blonde-style Kolsch, you're looking for an IPA, whether it be the Hopadillo, which is their flagship IPA, or like a Hoplectic, which is their seasonal, very, very balanced IPA. Maybe you're looking for a Crawford Bock or a Ziegenbach. Whatever your taste, Carbach has something for you. And it is all over our fair city. So when you're out and about, maybe for the Final Four this weekend, you're out hanging out in our fair city, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Carbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Heads up on 35 on the northeast side, northbound, just past 1604. Got an accident that's taking up the right lane, about a 5-minute delay, slow from Tupperwine. 1604 eastbound at Huebner, that's a stall right lane. And 410 eastbound Babcock, disabled vehicle that they quickly moved off the main lane, now off to the shoulder. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
That guy pulled out in front of me out of nowhere. The police are on their way, but I'm really shaken up.
Don't worry. We're going to get you taken care of. You made the right call.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck, call Davis Law Firm at 444-4444. We're ready to help day or night, and there's no fee unless we win.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Springtime is here and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you can take your pick of more or less for your shot of 1,000 times your money cash today. I'll say it again. That's today. Because on Prize Picks, you can match your player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with your favorite basketball players. Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's esports. Maybe it's something else. That's That's why you download Prize Picks. And what you do with Prize Picks is you win $50 instantly. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app right now. Use the code ALAMO. That's $50 instantly. Just play your lineup. Prize Picks. Hey, go run your game. I love Prize Picks because I'm not alone. There's millions of us playing, and you can win. It's easy. More or less. You better go run your game now.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is back. And it's all about having a great time. Grab your buddies, and ladies too, and hit the course for a fun, laid-back day of golf, laughs, and a little friendly competition at the Golf Club of Texas, Monday, April 14th. It's just $120 a player, or $400 for a foursome. A solid deal for a day of good times with your crew. The Spring Golf Classic benefits the Pan American Golf Association. But don't worry, this isn't some high After you've crushed it on the course, join us at the Hangar Bar and Grill on Potranco for the ultimate after party. Cold drinks, great food, and good times with all of your buddies. So grab your spot, grab your crew, and tee off for a day of unforgettable fun. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I watched some Purple Rain. I came upon the movie this
so
weekend.
Cool. Yeah.
You know, Apollonia 6 sucked. That was a terrible band. I don't know why he stole her back from Morris Day.
Yeah.
Should have just let her have.
Let her go. Let her go. It's hard to let him go.
Well, especially when you look like that.
Yeah.
But I actually watched their performance over the weekend. They were a sex shooter. What was the name of the
song? The coaching carousel in college hoops.
Fear the Turtle.
Yeah. Keeps on rolling. The latest of those guys, I think, was he the latest or was maybe that was the UC San Diego guy going to New Mexico, Eric Olin.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the latest.
That's the last turn.
Okay, that was the last one.
I heard it. Anyway.
Which a good get for New Mexico, I think.
Yeah.
Sucks for UC San Diego who had built that up, but that's what you are. That's
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where your only chance to ever get in the tournament is winning your conference, and the Mountain West is looked at as one of the better mid-major conferences, and you're
just like your players. If their coach looks good or your players look good, they're gone.
But when Kevin Willard left for the Villanova job, opened things up at Maryland, and Buzz Williams, who's been apparently named in a couple of
Peter Burns
jobs,
the SEC network here of San Antonio, longtime guy, said something regarding that, and I hadn't heard. But I can tell you that I do represent the rest of the Aggies, and I think I said it before the tournament. We're proud of you, Buzz. We love what you're doing. But at some point, this I think you've taken this program to heights we have never seen. But we need to continue the progress. And while the regular season, we did some things this year that merit you staying. I'm not advocating for you to go. I'm not advocating for you to get an extension, but I'm happy where you are, and I don't want you to leave. But if you feel the need to go fight in the Big Ten and play for a lesser Maryland, go. Go with God. I'm not going to fight for you. I'm really not.
This is I don't know what Maryland is. Like, Maryland's a weird job to me because
it has history, and especially as a basketball coach.
Well, they're the last Big Ten. They're the last current Big Ten team to have a national championship. Now, that was 23 years ago. But you are in obviously a recruiting hotbed in that DC Baltimore area, but the budget there doesn't seem like it's up to snuff with the other Big Ten schools.
I don't know Maryland enough. I know what Maryland used to be when they were an ACC school. They were a basketball school. The moment they chose to leave the ACC and join conference after conference and landing the Big Ten, they had to recalibrate. You kind of got to be a football school in the Big Ten. And I would, if it's like it would be an upgrade in status. He would be probably the lead dog thing on campus there in Maryland. I think. I'm not sure, but I would assume. So I could see why that would be an appeal. As far as budget, no, it's a step down. He won't have access to the budget. Now, the TV money from the Big Ten is almost as good as the SEC. The whole place will be well funded, but as far as the school's budget, it doesn't hold a candle to what A&M would have to spend and on a variety of things above and beyond just your salary. So I get it if you want to go. He coached up there, the Virginia, Maryland area. He has roots there. So I can just speak as an Aggie. I hate to see you go, but I'm not going to fight to keep you.
Well, the good news is I saw reading a list of potential Maryland coaches. One of the names on that list was Chris Beard.
That'd be a step down.
And, well, I don't know if it would be. I mean, is it any more of a step down from A&M to?
For Ole Miss, the basketball program has a little bit of status.
I don't think it's got any more status than A&M does.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm comparing Chris Beard going to Maryland from Ole Miss.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, is that any more of a step down than Buzz going to Maryland from A&M?
Well, I think
because I think A&M and Ole Miss are equal.
No, I'm talking about the status of the coaches. I think Chris Beard is thought of as probably a higher echelon coach than Buzz.
Well, here's what you'll like about this. What I was reading said Maryland would likely want to kick the tires on Chris Beard, but a more likely move would be if Buzz were to go.
Oh, I'd call Chris
A&M poaching Chris Beard.
Yes, I would. That's what I'm saying. A&M will bring in a coach. I'm not worried about that. We can pay enough to get just about anybody who's looking.
Yeah.
So no, that's why as an Aggie, I love you, Buzz, but I think I can find some dudes that can do at least what you've already done, and I'm saying that because you've done what you've done. You've already laid a great foundation, and you deserve to stay. I'm not wanting you to leave. But if you're looking someplace else, what you have already done has created a pretty soft place to land for some really good coaches. They won't have to work nearly as hard as you did to build this thing up. So you've made this a presentable program. I want you to stay and see it through. But if you have the inkling to leave, I'm not the jealous type, brother. I lost a baseball coach in a funeral in a graveyard last year. You can go with God if you just want to be upfront about it.
So that the other jobs left open, I guess, has VCU hired a coach yet?
I think they have, AJ. I do think VCU.
Oh yeah, Phil Martelli Jr.
That's right. He left.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like all the big time jobs are taken. So.
I just don't believe that Buzz is heading to Maryland. It would be a strange jump. Maybe he's tired of the waters, but I can tell you this: if you're A&M, you better be on the phone right now because the dominoes are going to fall fast.
Well, you have said before, and think about the places where Buzz has been in the past. You've said before there's something to coaching at a school where basketball is the priority. And that's never going to be the case at Texas A&M.
Never. Even though the light is brighter on A&M basketball as it ever has, it is still 20% of the football.
And remember, he probably saw his most success at Marquette, where there is no football team, and then did some time at Virginia Tech, where it doesn't. Virginia Tech. Let's just say there was a time when Virginia Tech felt like a football school. That time's gone.
Well, when Coach retired. But, yeah, but Virginia Tech's a coaching launch pad. It's not where you stay. It's where you start and where you land at the end.
But A&M is never going to be a basketball school. So
never.
You go back to Maryland. Maryland
there's some history
Maryland
there.
cares about football, but they care about basketball. I don't know if it's equal, but it's at least in the conversation, whereas at A&M, it's not even in the conversation.
I would agree 100%. and I do think if Buzz wanted to stay, he could grow the team in stature. I know that Reed is more fun than it's ever been. They're selling out and doing lots of stuff, but it's always going to be, what do we do while we're done with the recruiting and waiting for the spring game? Oh, we play basketball.
What I will say is this about Buzz. If he doesn't get this job, then it's really awkward because from what I understand, Buzz is the one who's like kind of throwing this out there. Like, hey, I'd really like to coach at Maryland. If they decide to go a different way, now what?
Well, I mean, used to you'd say continuity of recruiting. There is no recruiting continuity. You rebuild your team anew every year. So we didn't lose any recruits. How much they going to pay him, and is he still going to be here? So used to it might be awkward. Now, it's kind of a year-to-year thing anyway.
It's just weird for a coach to be pushing to leave a job that, or at least for it to be reported that he's the one pushing for it.
That's the other thing. And now, like I said when I first heard this, I hadn't heard anything. I mean, normally you follow the money on this, and the money guys, from what I've heard, they're not upset. I mean, we beat the number one team in the country the first time in our conference's history. We beat Auburn at home. We did some really good things this year. Had a tournament win. We went deep in the SEC tournament. He has done everything to keep his job, and no one wants him to leave. But he's not going to get the massive extension that some coaches might have got for doing that because, quite frankly, there's still more to be done.
I also think that there's something to this year. Everything in the last several has been built up to this year being like A&M's, I don't want to say their last stand, but their best chance. And with Taylor gone, Payne gone, Coleman gone, 8 seniors on that A&M team.
If I'm him, I go,
this is a rebuild year.
Well, again, and so was Kentucky, and they made it to the Sweet 16. I mean, you can now redo pretty damn quick. So it's still important.
Who are the mega transfers that A&M has brought in?
No, could you name those guys?
No, but what I'm saying is,
there's 800 guys in the portal.
Not because I'm not saying it because of A&M. I'm saying Buzz doesn't seem like a guy who generally wants to bring in, huge NIL transfers.
Well, if that's the case, then you need to leave, Buzz, because you're going to have to. That's the game you're going to have to play. Again, I think if Buzz wants to leave, it's for his own personal reasons. There's not a lot of pressure at A&M for to go. There's not. I just think that he's on track. Now, next year, if you're a first round out and you don't bring in some guys, that seat will be a little bit warmer. But he has got, if he didn't do another thing and just maintain status quo, he's got this job 3 more years without anybody even questioning him. Just you're winning big games when it matters. You're winning on TV. You're keeping the alumni happy. And as soon as you're done, we can start focusing on football.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's like, oh, we gotta figure out the next thing at head coach.
The awkward part is because of that. Now you got to be very careful of arrogance. You might not have a safe place to land if you start looking around because we will go. You know what, dude?
Oh, you don't want to be here.
You don't want to be here. I thought we were being nice. Okay, let's talk about your performance. And I don't think we're knee jerk like that because we don't have the volatility that a lot of football programs have because that's really where that kind of stuff starts to rear its head. But Buzz better not just count on the fact that his earlier success guarantees him a happy landing if he decides to look around, because that's not the case.
I'll say this. What he's doing at A&M, 3 years in a row he's made the tournament and had I guess he won a game but last year too, didn't he?
Yeah, both years he's won a game.
Okay. But round of 32 is like Aggie can be happy with that. Maryland won't be happy with that. Like they're going to, especially because this was year 6 for Buzz, and he still hasn't made it past the second round. You spend 6 years at Maryland and don't get past the second round, there's going to be people like, what the hell's going on here?
Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what their history's been. I don't think it's been much more than A&M.
But
in the last 10 years.
What I'm saying is they don't keep guys around after.
No, you're right. There's a reason why. No, there's a reason why there's a rotating door there. There's more pressure than maybe as should be given to a program that's not what it was. But yeah. I think a guy like Buzz doesn't go there without thinking, I'll have him at the top, just like Missouri jumped out of nowhere. I can do the same.
Yeah, they had when they fired Turgeon.
It hadn't been the same since.
It really hadn't been the same since Turgeon. Like year 3 or whatever of Turgeon, it started to go downhill. Before that, it was Gary Williams, and obviously, I think probably the most successful coach in their history.
Lefty Driesell. Lefty put him on the map. Gary got the title, though. So that's true. At the end of the day, he holds the ring.
But but when you talk about Drizel, now you're talking about two guys who held that job
40 years.
Yeah, almost 40 years, or maybe even more than 40 years. And then it was Turgeon for so three guys for 50 years.
And they're gone, and then the ACC pipeline left. And while that pipeline might not be as pretty as it was a couple years ago, it still mattered if you got a scholarship offer to play in the ACC. It might have been just Maryland, but you got in. You're playing the ACC. Now you get a scholarship offer to Maryland to go play in the Big Ten. Okay, that's like your safety school, you know what I mean? Or if you're from Annapolis or in the Maryland area.
It almost also might say something that Kevin Willard, raised his hand to leave. Well,
the Nova job's pretty.
But there was a time where Maryland was a big enough job that you weren't raising your hand to leave it. And I don't think it's that anymore.
Well, it's been that 30 years.
Yeah,
it's been that long.
So
find a conference that fits. They just don't fit there. They will never feel like a Big Ten school, ever. No matter how hard they try, no matter how long they stay.
You know when they feel like a Big Ten school? On the 1st and the 15th or whenever they
get seriously, when they get the checks, it feels nice.
They're like, yeah, we're a Big Ten school, baby. We are here.
And just go back to the ACC where you belong.
Yeah. Although, listen, man, the fact that they made the tournament, made the Sweet 16 out of the Big Ten in a year where the ACC is on life support, maybe they're probably feeling like that. Maybe we did the right thing.
Well, I was going to joke, save some flight time. But with the ACC, you're flying to Stanford anyway, so you might as well, with UCLA or Stanford, the same flight time. So you're not saving any cash. It just doesn't feel right. Whether you're flying east to play Stanford, you're still ACC. Now you're flying east to play UCLA, and on your way back playing Minnesota. It doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
No conference should have more than two schools with the same letter to start it. You got Michigan, you got Minnesota, you got Maryland. Too many M's floating around.
Texas A&M, Tennessee. Who you kicking out?
That's what happens when you coalesce these conferences. Too many T's. Tennessee got to go. The font's weird on that Tennessee team too.
Oh,
you ever notice Minnesota is an upside down W?
I think most M's are in a way. Right,
but
all the way there.
The M is the angle. It is truly an upside down W.
Okay. Well,
yeah, it does look like a W.
I mean,
you run out of fonts.
I guess so.
That's why you can only have two.
I guess so. That's why Michigan State just has that head. They use the S. They don't even try to claim the M.
They don't even try.
We don't want that M. We'll take an S.
The state.
All right. Halfway there, living on a prayer on a Monday. We've got some giveaways on the other side. I've got some comedy tickets. I've got some golf tickets. I got a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom coming up later on in the show as well. It's a Giving Monday on 94.1.
Riding the work with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Being arrested isn't just a setback. It's a nightmare that can destroy your life and reputation. At Barton & Associates, we're here to make sure your one bad night doesn't turn into a lifetime of regret. Contact Barton & Associates today at texasarrest.com. That's texasarrest.com.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
with the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free.
Yep,
And an upgrade is just $10?
that's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have a new trouble spot on the west side, Loop 410, northbound at Military Drive. It's an accident. Looks like they quickly moved it off a main lane, now off to the shoulder. This crash at 90 eastbound the connector to 35 on the west side of town. That wreck has the left lane of the connector ramp blocked. And on 35 northbound, just past 1604 northeast side, this wreck is in the right lane. 7-8 minute delay has you slow from O'Connor. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
It's an all number one seed affair coming to San Antonio as the top four seeds are coming for only the second time in the event's history. The other was in 2008 when Kansas, Memphis, UCLA, and North Carolina reached the Final Four. The Spurs had a rough weekend, dropping 2, losing to the Boston Celtics on Saturday, 121-111. Yesterday, getting bombed by the Golden State Warriors. Final score, 148-106. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Soldiering on, 8:01 here on the Morning Huddle. Dante DiVincenzo. What a thug. He just attacked Ron Holland. Attacked him. Said, don't you dare push my friend.
So, what do you figure? There's about $1 million in fines coming out of this?
Oh, probably more than that.
Who started it?
It looked like DiVincenzo and Ron Holland got going, though Isaiah Collier...
Naz Reid didn't like.
So, look,
the fact that Dante DiVincenzo is Naz Reid's enforcer is a little bit odd.
Right?
No, but, you know.
Dante's from the streets, man.
I guess that's what it is.
I think Nas, too. Nas is from Jersey.
That's some street ball right there.
Just surprising that that Dante would be the guy to jump in for someone who's literally twice his size. But, you know, I guess you got to be a good teammate. That's what good teammates do,
well,
right?
Did you hear their head coach got thrown out, too?
Yeah, Bickerstaff got tossed.
An assistant and another couple. He came out and told the truth. Look, man, I'm not proud of it, but at least they stood up for each other.
Yeah. I mean, there is something to that, like your team cohesiveness.
Well, there's going to be hell to pay.
Yes.
Adam Silver's going to fine everybody millions of dollars, and we're going to start talking seat belts again. And if you stand up, suspensions, and all those things that the NBA had evidently thought they'd gotten away from.
Yeah. But
because if this had happened back in the day, everybody you see standing there would be suspended at least a game.
Yeah, because you remember you never get off the bench.
No question.
If you leave the bench and come on the floor,
there's no question.
You're gone.
There's no appealing it. Ask the Phoenix Suns. The Spurs probably a better team anyway, but it ended them.
Yep.
When there was a tussle, and they stood up. There's some argument whether they actually left the bench, but there was the rule. You stand up, it's over. And we've got the terrible video. I mean, it's not the kind of thing the NBA wants to show, though I do think that those that are showing up to work this morning, right about now up on Fifth Avenue, are kind of excited by the fact that at least they got two teams that give a crap.
I think at the end of the day, the guys who are going to get in the most trouble are DiVincenzo and Holland.
Yeah.
And it's weird, too, because DiVincenzo, like, Naz Reid came away, like, wagging his finger at Holland, and then DiVincenzo went over and grabbed Holland to, like, move him.
And went down.
And Holland, like, flipped his arm away, like, don't put your hands on me. I'm not the one. I'm not the one acting wild here. And then DiVincenzo, like, jumps at it. I think DiVincenzo is going to be the guy who gets in the most trouble out of all this.
Yeah, I think they're all going to pay. There had to be some history. There had to have been something lead up to that because that was such a volatile response for something that he, quite frankly, wasn't even involved with.
Yeah, he just shows up and, like, let these two guys bark. I mean, that's all it was barking. I don't think Reed and Holland were ever going to put hands on each other.
It's a basketball fight. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
They're going to try, but those punches come from about 4 feet away. You can see them coming.
Yeah. And then who was the guy who threw a punch and then ran?
Me? No.
Somebody at an NBA game who threw a punch and ran away. I was like, oh, you. I hate.
It's
NBA
a basketball fight, man.
NBA fights.
You only get one. You get one swing.
NBA fights. I don't know what's worse, NBA fights or Major League Baseball.
Well, there's no fights. There hadn't been a fight in the NBA. This wasn't a fight. This was a tussle.
Scrum.
That was a scrum. That wasn't a fight. There hadn't been a fight in the NBA in 5 years.
The NFL is dumb because they throw punches when helmets are on.
I know.
I like in hockey when dudes just say, all right, let's
Let's
dance.
dance.
Throw the gloves down. Let's dance like men. I'm for that.
Yeah, the NBA needs to be like hockey now.
Well, maybe. But the reason
Let
for
it out.
hockey, though, is you got to let them throw fists instead of the sticks or the knives they have taped to their feet.
That's true.
I know,
Let's
right?
let them just throw
We
some
got
hands,
sticks.
man.
We got blades. You can fight with your hands.
Just
That's
drop
it.
them and
That's
go. It could get worse.
That's it. Yeah. But, hey, at least got us talking random NBA.
Seriously. In their heart of hearts, the league's kind of, all right, now there's
Got a
some
little
pepper
pub
in
out of it.
Yeah,
There we
because
go, a little
on
bit
the
of pub.
same night, we had the Spurs lose by damn near 50 at home. Who cared more?
Colby, it's Carmelo. Carmelo is the one who threw that punch and ran away.
Oh, okay.
Respect. These hands are worth something, man.
I lost all respect for Carmelo that day. I was like, oh, God. We got this sound. I wanted to play this before we move on. The Buzz Williams sound from Peter Burns that I wanted to get out there. We didn't have access to it earlier.
Now, what's interesting about this, Courtney, I would not be surprised if there is an SEC coach that backfills that position over in Maryland.
Anybody come to mind?
Buzz Williams was over there at Virginia Tech. Maybe there's a situation where him and Texas A&M have not been on the same level, in same thought process for a while. It would not shock me if he at least takes a look at that job over in Maryland.
See, I don't know. I mean, he's as plugged in as anybody. But I can tell you that what he's saying about A&M, I don't know what it's founded because we're not. The one thing about A&M is we're not myopic enough to believe that this was a team that was destined for greatness.
It is. This is what I'll say for A&M as sometimes. How's the right way to word this? Sometimes delusional they can be about what their football program should be.
Well, I don't think that's delusion, but that's another argument. I mean,
I think that A&M's fan base believes they should be competing for titles every year, even though there's never been a history that says they should compete for titles.
Well, they've got as much money and as much place as anybody else. And I think that they should aspire to that. Basketball, you don't care much about it. You can't just come to me in March and say, oh, we really care. No, you don't. You don't care.
No, A&M seems very content with, like, I don't think A&M wants to be an embarrassing basketball
No, they
program.
want to win. No, don't go that they don't believe that they can't put together a winning. But I mean, winning a national title.
But what I'm
hard,
saying
but
is,
you should be a tournament team. There's nothing less than tournament every year. That's
if you're
the expectation.
competitive, Aggie fan is pretty happy with
tournaments.
That. Like, just we want to be invited to the dance.
See,
we want to be at the party.
They want to win.
Well, of course they want to, but you're not going to be upset if you don't.
But we're not going to invest what is required to win. We're not going to build a big new stadium. We're not going to give you millions and millions to go buy. This is your budget. And the money that is not spent on basketball is going to football. That's where it's going to go. If you know your place, we'll give you every opportunity to win, and we're going to expect success. But we're not going to lose your job if you're not a Final Four team.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like at
but
Texas
don't
when they
start
when they
going,
moved
oh,
on
don't
from
dream bigger than you are. No, that's not the case.
That's
but
not it.
It's about allocation of
You're
resources.
so defensive about
no,
this.
because
Yes,
you
are.
a Texas fan goes, you're never going to
First
win.
of all, I'm not
That's
Texas
the biggest,
fan.
Well, anybody, you should never aspire to that.
That's
what
not
are
what
you
I'm
talking
saying.
About?
What I'm saying is that their basketball
Don't
program.
believe you can win a title.
I'm not saying that.
No, you want to infer that because you say it way too much. And
About
you're not
football?
alone. Yes.
Oh, because I'm not saying they shouldn't aspire to,
but don't
I'm just
act
saying
like
they
you
expect
should.
to.
Yes, they should, as everybody else in the SEC
That's like
should.
you going out to the bar every night saying, I expect to bang Christy Brinkley tonight.
Well,
you're going to be disappointed almost every single night of your life.
Well, so will everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't anger for saying I should. Don't anger for aiming high, because eventually you're going to hit that target.
No, you
Eventually.
won't.
Yeah, you will.
No, you won't.
Texas A&M will win a title in the next 10 years just because the mayonnaise is spread too thin. It's set up for them now. I mean, the playoff picture is bigger. You don't have to be closing strong. You don't have to you just got to be in the party, and that opens it up for a lot of teams that never had a chance. And A&M probably didn't until now.
Okay.
You just got to win 3 games now. Arizona State had half a chance this year, So now everybody's got a little bit more of an opportunity.
Let's do this. If we're still working together in 10 years, steak and lobster dinner.
It'll happen before that. I mean, it'll happen before that. It just has to. I mean, there's going to be 4. No, I'm not saying for A&M. We're going to have new national champions over the next couple of years because the difference will be one player because everybody's pretty good now. I mean, it's going to be it's like this tournament. You just got to be in the upper echelon. You got a chance.
I think thinking A&M football is going to win a national championship in the next 10 years is like saying that.
Well, you have to aspire to that. You have
space
to
aliens will arrive in the next 10
years. Well, they
years.
already have. See, we just last week we found the aliens' headquarters underneath the pyramids.
Right?
They will land in the next 10 years.
Well, they've already been here.
You're wearing a tinfoil hat for these Aggies right now.
I'm speaking the truth. I mean, at some point, the odds tell you that you're going to be there. I mean, it's
Rice football one of these years.
I mean, you look at Arizona State.
Arizona State got.
But they were in the party. What I'm saying is, you never know. You show up, you win a game, suddenly you're there.
Well, they had to be invited to the party. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. Used to, it was reserved to a very select 4. Now there's 12 going to show up. So I mean, the odds are for everybody have increased because now there's more people at the dance.
No, but the problem is because they have to invite Arizona State and they have to invite Boise and these places,
you get an easy win.
Well, but it also means how many SEC how many spots are there?
Well, this year we know. I'm just the odds are better for everybody. They just are. For those that are in the upper echelon, it just got easier. You now have access to places you never did before, and A&M is one of those schools that was never going to have access in the SEC because no matter what, there are going to be 3 or 4 teams, no matter how good they were, that were better. That were just. Alabama was always going to be better.
But I don't know how you can think when you've got to win 3 games in the playoffs. Now that makes your odds are better.
Yes,
your odds are when you're the lesser program. Like for A&M to beat Alabama, okay,
Bama's not a good.
If you say in a one-off, we got to beat Bama, but now you got to beat Bama, Georgia, and Ohio State.
But you're at least at the dance. Before you didn't even get a shot. There was only 4 teams that went, and now at least you're saying I got a shot. And I saw Arizona State, and I'll see some other teams that got hot at the right time, and we're going to have a better opportunity than we've ever had to have a new champion. And we're going to have 3 or 4 over the next couple of years.
David says a Christy Brinkley reference. Was Daisy Duke taken already? I was trying to go with someone age appropriate to Rob. I didn't want to say like Rob's going to,
what is she, like 65, I think?
I mean, she's not like
she looks good.
Yeah, she does look good. I didn't want to throw some 20-something-year-old at Rob, make him seem like a creeper.
I don't even know. I wouldn't know who they are.
Yeah, Rob's not Bill Belichick.
I wouldn't have known who they are now.
Sydney Sweeney. What's the Twitter gal? The OnlyFans gal that's all over Twitter and you can't avoid her. Sophie Rain. Yeah, Rob, you could go get Sophie Rain at the bar.
That sounds like a porn name.
I think she is.
Or
I mean,
Rebecca Black, the Friday
Well,
girl.
she's old now. She's gross. Yeah, she's past her prime.
No, wow.
Still.
And Colby says, Rob, I'm an Aggie. You're proving AJ's point of being delusional. Even your own brethren are saying, Rob, come on, man, slow down.
I want to turn in your maroon. Dude, seriously, you're not an Aggie. You're not an Aggie.
Oh, and then David says Rob appropriate would be Betty White. She's dead.
She was 99.
Yeah, Rob's not that old.
First of all, Aggie, what the hell is your problem, brother?
Why are they attacking you?
You're no Aggie.
Oh.
Anybody who says... No, I expect it from without. But within? Seriously? From within. Seriously.
That's when Rob gets defensive about Aggies, he turns me into Longhorn fan.
Well, because you tend to go Longhorn fan on this.
Longhorn literally tried to get me fired from my job.
You spent 10 years in Austin. You get a little. You drink the Kool-Aid.
I just try and be realistic about things.
But then you're not. You're not. And I will fight whoever says that. I mean, I'm just not going to stand by it.
It's just one of those things like you've never seen it happen in your life, but you expect it to happen in the next 10 years.
Oh, yes, I do. There's a lot of things that I mean, we had never been to space. We did that. See?
Oh, man. An asteroid is going to knock the moon out of the sky.
Why are you turning my mic off? Who turned my mic off?
I didn't touch it.
I think you did. You were flailing around. You get upset. You get all worked up.
This arrogance. It just astounds me. I cannot wait. I just cannot wait. The ignorance and arrogance that I can never separate the two.
You like Yosemite Sam?
Rob turns real red. Rob's face looks like the back of my neck right now.
I was going to say.
Nah.
Always good to work in a little football conversation on a Monday. Get Rob
so you can tell it's
up.
football season already.
Oh,
we're already there. I've already turned the page. A&M done. My bracket busted. Let's talk football.
Hey, how about Rob picked Alabama in basketball.
I also picked Florida. I had to go outliner with Alabama. I tried to be different, and I paid the price. Who'd have thought a number 2 was the dog?
Yep.
You fool, taking a 2 seed.
Hey, Trevor Wallace is playing the Aztec Theater. Win a pair of tickets to go see comedian Trevor Wallace doing the Alpha Beta Male Tour live on April 10th at the Aztec Theater. Get your tickets if you don't win them at livenation.com. But we got a pair for you now. Let's go with caller number 10 to represent how many years it will be. Less than 10 before A&M wins a national title in football.
Happened this year, man.
Could happen.
Seen that quarterback?
Could happen.
He's grown 6 inches.
Could happen. Also, we could start communicating verbally with goats in the next 10 years. I've heard there's been real technology on that front. Real technology.
That's how we talk to Longhorn fans.
So there you go. Caller 10, Trevor Wallace at the Aztec Theater. On the other side, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a little radio tease at 8:30-ish when we come back for the 8:30 segment anyway. I'm going to give away 2 pairs of tickets to the Valero Texas Open for this weekend. How about that? Those are good tickets, Bubba. You're going to want them. Stay tuned. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Hear that? It's SpringFest savings calling your name. Only at Lowe's. Right now, get a free Select Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a Select Ego trimmer, blower, or mower. Plus, get your choice of any 2 bags of Miracle-Gro organic soil mix for only $16. Shop these can't-miss deals in-store or online today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 4/2. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Excludes Hawaii.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, we are back from Las Vegas. So much to talk about, including we've got our Final Four.
It is set. We know who is coming to San Antonio. Now, the NFL owners, they're meeting down in Florida. We'll have the latest news coming from that.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Make up your mind. Oh. Decide to walk with me, Vic. The lake tonight. I like how this only plays in one side of your headphones.
It's cool.
Lake tonight. On my side. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Scott Trelica. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's our winner. He's headed to the big show, the Alpha Beta Male Tour with Trevor Wallace at the Aztec Theater.
He used to buy a vowel.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I was all like squinting at the name, like, is that
Sure. Listen, whatever works for you, man.
I'm down.
We still to this very day have no idea where Aaron Rodgers is going to play.
It ain't going to be Pittsburgh.
Apparently, he's still in the mix there.
Pittsburgh, have some self-respect. Just say no, man. He doesn't want to be there. You don't want to pay him. Don't buckle.
What are your options now?
Hey, spend whatever it takes to go get Atlanta quarterback. Wait a
Kirk
year.
Cousins?
Don't invite cancer into your house. Don't bring the wolf into the chicken pen. It seems like this is going the right way for you. He might not necessarily want to be here. Let him go.
Mike Tomlin, they asked him some of the where the thought process is at right now. He said, we're still evaluating the acquisition of a guy at the position, whether it's free agency and or the draft.
Do you buy that? Do you honestly believe they are still turning pages and doing research?
No. Well, I mean, I think they're still considering drafting somebody.
Oh, I think no matter what, their draft plans will not change with the acquisition of a quarterback.
Here's what I believe: they're already going to sign Aaron Rodgers. It's just they're going to wait until
the last minute
after the draft.
They're going to wait till a little bit later.
So you think
because the other alternative,
he's waiting on them?
Yes, yeah, I do.
You think that? They haven't made an offer.
I think maybe they've got like an agreement in place. Like, hey, let's wait a while.
I'll buy that
because I don't want to go through all the off-season stuff. Like
Gosh, I was so hoping. Man, you'd like to think Aaron is waiting on Pittsburgh. That there's no other choice.
We heard that Aaron Rodgers had multiple offers on the table and was like weighing things out.
Show me, bring me an offer. Show me. If you got a better offer, bring it to you. I kind of want you to be here if I'm Pittsburgh. I kind of thought that Pittsburgh had offered some money and they're waiting on Aaron to agree on, and it had been lowballed. I'd hate to think that Aaron's like, I'm waiting for a better alternative.
I don't know.
Do you think that?
I can't imagine Aaron thinks that someone else is going to offer him.
I'm just astounded how Pittsburgh got themselves into this. I mean, it's not cowboy bad. Cowboy bad is terrible. I mean, cowboy bad, you're so in the hole with a dude you don't love.
You're hamstrung.
Yeah, but this is next, that you have now gotten yourself to the point where you are awaiting the whim of Aaron Rodgers. That, your future is dependent, at least your immediate future, is dependent on him.
The current depth chart for the Pittsburgh Steelers has two names on it. One is Mason Rudolph, who's listed currently as the starter. The other is Skylar Thompson.
Well, they can't do that. I mean, they can't use those guys.
And I listen to this quote from Mike Tomlin. We're optimistic about the room that we're constructing. Obviously, we're excited about having Mason Rudolph back.
Oh, yeah.
But we're certainly going to continue to explore all our options in terms of rounding that room out. I don't even think, I know coaches lie all the time and they're excited about players. They'll say they're excited about players they're not excited about. But you can't even with a straight face say, I'm excited about my quarterback room that's got Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson in it. Now, I'm not saying that if I were Mike Tomlin, I'd suddenly be way more excited about Aaron Rodgers. But I'll say this, if I'm a Steelers fan and I really believe hey, I want to make the playoffs. I don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, then Rodgers is your only option.
Rodgers is your only option.
And my hope, and I just assumed in my brain, I felt like Pittsburgh looked Aaron Rodgers up and down and said, this is what you're worth. We want you to come here and help us to win. We're not going to spend one penny more. Here's your offer. I just kind of thought that was it.
He said, it's been reported that he spent a day with us, and it was a really good day. Specifically, he and I obviously have known each other for some time, so it was really good to spend some time together and to get to know each other more intimately. But it is free agency. It's a process. And then they said, was there an internal deadline? He said, not to my knowledge. I don't know that we've approached it from a deadline perspective. Certainly, as I mentioned, you'd like to have settled circumstances, but deadlines don't often bring that to a head. I really wanted to spend more of our time just getting to know him better and the things that he values as a player and a man and what he might be looking for with his next stop.
By that, I'm wrong. By that, they are willing to pay him. By that statement, Tomlin's willing to put up with some crap.
Tomlin also said that he hadn't thought a lot about settling the Rodgers situation before the draft, and the unresolved quarterback position hasn't hindered the team's free agency plans. So he said, we're still going after guys like DK. We're still signing guys, still signed Darius Slay, still signed Kenneth Gainwell. But obviously, we want to go into camp with a complete quarterback room. You know, in the spring, it's about teaching and learning, getting familiar with players, making sure they're familiar with some of the things that we value. It's not an evaluation time of the year for us. It's certainly not a time of the year where we're focused on readying ourselves for the game action. Certainly, training camp would kind of be a line of demarcation in terms of that discussion. The spring is about teaching and learning.
That's a load. What are you talking about? This is free agency. This is draft. What are you talking about, teaching and learning?
I think, yeah.
What are you talking about? This is the time for talent acquisition, which is very quickly past you. And next is to draft. This is the time. I don't know what you're talking about. You're coaching them up and you OTAs once you get them in the building.
Elsewhere, speaking of the Jets, with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets have come out and said, Justin Fields is our starting quarterback.
I appreciate it. You got to do this.
Okay.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
I don't know. Say we're going to see how he looks in training camp.
As opposed to against who?
They drafted Jordan Travis last year. Maybe you're drafting somebody this year. I don't know.
I don't think his psyche could take an open competition. I think you have to say this.
If his psyche can't take an open competition, you never should have given him money to begin with.
I didn't say they should have, but I'm just saying I don't think his psyche and coming into it would be it's your job to lose, not it's an open competition.
Now, they did give him $30 million guaranteed over the next 2 years, which you're not going to give to a guy if you don't expect him to start.
I think they had to do it. I mean, he's damaged goods, and but so are they. They're not going to bring in anybody better. And their draft pick from last year, once he's fully healthy and you get a good picture of him, maybe he will be in the long term. But right now, you got to say with this, he's our guy.
Your hope is that he is, I don't know, I guess a Sam Darnold type. This is stop 3.
That's not going to go well. I can tell you this isn't going to end well. It's going to end average.
If you told me the third stop on your quarterback carousel journey is the Jets, I would say good luck to you, sir.
And it might not be all his fault, but he is not skilled enough, both mentally and physically, to step into the situation that he's going to have to deal with.
Chris says, why are you so down on Fields, AJ? Why were the Bears so down on Fields? Why were the Steelers so down on Fields? Because he's not very good. He hasn't proven to be very good
And
yet.
He hasn't gotten any better. He's got every tool. It's just circumstances have beat him down.
I think Mike Tomlin really wanted him to win that job last year. He wanted him to be the starter, and Russell Wilson was better than him.
It's just not enough there. Expectations will be a little bit different, but I don't think anybody's down on Fields. He'll prove to everybody who he is, because he will never be in a more comfortable environment that has been put together solely for him. They're going to make it as easy as possible for him to be a successful quarterback, but the circumstances are going to overcome
That sounds a lot like what we heard about Aaron Rodgers last year with the Jets.
Again, exactly.
We've built a great roster around him.
Everything we can. It's not going to work out, but it'll be the best place that Justin's ever played. He's not going to have anybody chasing him. He'll have a rookie that he can mentor for. There'll be an old pro that's around the building. He doesn't have to do much. Just get better than you were yesterday. That's the best place he's ever been, and it'll still work out to like 6 wins.
Yeah. I just don't. The guy's won. He's been in the league 4 years. He's won 14 games.
You are what you are.
You are what you are, man. And this is the same guy that got sacked 55 times in a year. 55. And now you're putting him behind this offensive line that couldn't keep Aaron Rodgers upright last year. And then I'll hear people say, well, he's more mobile. He was mobile when he got sacked 55 times. Right. He was mobile the next year when he got sacked 44th or whatever it was. I mean, dude got sacked almost 100 times in 2 years. And he's been mobile the whole time. He just holds the ball too long. Yeah, I don't know. I think Colby says Fields isn't better than Daniel Jones. I think they're very similar, quite frankly. I think their upsides are similar. I don't think either one of them's any good.
Yeah,
But,
it's 6-1, half a dozen the other. You take
Yep.
one, I'll take the other, and we'll trade at halftime.
Yeah.
We'll work out the same.
but hey, man. Well, I would say good luck to him, but he plays for the Jets, and I do like to point and laugh at the Jets when they are miserable.
But today, he's the man. Today, he's the future.
At least for now.
Hey, man.
He is the man. And we'll see. We will see. I will say, when he got benched last year and he was like 4-2, I thought it was a little weird. But I don't know. I guess the pressure is be better.
Well, yeah, and maybe your coach believes in you, but your teammates don't.
Vince says the craziest things. Fields is better than Dak. Vince, come on.
Dak's got his own problems, but seriously, this was a MVP runner-up 2 years ago. Dak is good.
And Vince earlier said that Texas or A&M will never win in the SEC. Texas was literally just playing in the Final Four. Yeah, you're saying crazy things. But all right. All right. We will hit a break. When we come back, here it goes. I've got 2 tickets to the Valero Texas Open for this weekend. I want to give them away to somebody. I want to make someone's day. I want to bring joy. That's what I like to do.
High-value tickets, too, man. Those are going to be in great demand.
Yep.
Sunday, when there's nothing going on downtown, head out to the golf course, TPC.
How cool would that be?
Enjoy yourself a sunny afternoon.
What a life. What a life. We'll do that next. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, we do have a couple of trouble spots. Loop 410 northbound at Military Drive. That's an accident. Left lane blocked. A bit of a delay from Lakeside Parkway. And then this crash at 35 northbound, just past 1604 in the right lane, 7-8 minute delay. Slow from O'Connor. That wreck at 90 eastbound, the off-ramp to 35, that just cleared. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
The Valero Texas Open is a can't-miss event. Here's your chance to enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. You won't want to miss the next defining, unexpected, and winning moments at the Valero Texas Open. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. Buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 3rd through the 6th.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000 this month in March. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GimmeTheVin.com.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Your marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. Take back control now with Barton & Associates, an aggressive, no-nonsense team of attorneys ready to fight for what you deserve. Contact us today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More, the place to go for. Sipping rosés with seltzers on ice. Making margaritas with your favorite tequilas. It's warm out, let's go. Our prices are low on spirits, beer, and wine. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. All right. Let's see. We've got Valero Texas Open tickets for this weekend. It seems too simple to say caller 2, doesn't it? Or caller 3 or whatever. See? See? Let's do it this way. I was at the you know what? How we started the show. How about that, Rob? How we started the show.
It was so long ago.
I know. I know. I suffered a horrible injury this weekend, a horrific injury this weekend at my mom's house. The first person to put in the brigade bar. How about that? On the brigade bar, no less.
Yeah.
First person to put it in the brigade bar. What my severe injury was over the weekend. You'll win 2 tickets to the Valero Texas Open.
I thought you might ask.
Yeah, and if you recently won, give someone else a chance.
Anybody who knows who Akshay Bhatia is?
No. Did he?
He's last year's winner.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's gone on to great fame and fortune.
I actually do know that. I've heard that name before. We'll have Will Doctor on the show on Wednesday to talk some golf with us, and then we'll do it next week too to talk the Masters. But I figure we could have Will on and give us a good feel for who's going to win this tournament this weekend. He's always got some guys in mind.
The great thing about the VTO now is its placement right before the Masters. That we're always trying to find the sweet spot to where to host the tournament.
It's a little bad timing with the Final Four here.
But shoot, it's always right about now, right before the Masters. The Final Four is every 4 or 5 years, but it is. It's actually, I don't think anybody involved is upset that the other is going on because, quite frankly, except for Saturday, they really don't. They don't cross-pollinate a whole lot. But like closing day on Sunday, there's no games going on, so it's going to be a great day. Then Saturday, yeah, you're going to have to make a decision. But for the most part, I think it's going to cross-pollinate pretty well. And keep in mind, there's also a Spur game coming up this weekend. So the city's the center of the sports universe.
Certainly are. Oscar Rodriguez is our winner with Sunburn. Alexandra says your ego. I don't know where that came from. Thanks a lot, Alexandra. Josh says torn rectum, and I know where that came from, but that's not the answer for this weekend anyway.
Wow, that was hardcore.
Yeah, man. God, when I try to bring joy to the people, and all they do is just
they give you crap.
Yeah, man. Like, Vic, could I honestly could I be a better person than I am, Vic? I don't know.
No, you're good.
I'm
You're
about as good of a person as I could be.
Sucking up. You don't need any defending. You make your own bed, hero.
And then everyone's just mean to me.
Yeah, they are. They're mean to you.
It's unfair.
You make your own bed.
It is unfair.
And there's some trolls hanging around out there.
Yeah.
That rectum thing, that's too much. Come on now.
Bullies.
You can bring something better to this fight.
I'd call it bullies. Is what I'm dealing with bullying now. Online bullying, even, which I think is a crime. By the way,
it is a crime.
You guys better be careful with that before I call the FBI on you. And we'll see who's got the torn rectum. You guys are locked up in the pen. All right. We've talked hoops. We've talked NFL. Major League Baseball. The big story over the weekend was these bats that the Yankees are. Yeah, the torpedo bats.
So I walked in this morning, and the first question I had, as a fan, not a player, is, do those bats even matter? I mean, is it a technological advance, the fact that they are using this and other teams aren't?
Well, first of all, there were other teams using it. They just didn't hit 20-something home runs or whatever the Yankees did. So, but the Yankees had several guys using it and having great success with it. I do think there is something to having a little bit bigger of a sweet spot, and it falls within the rules. I mean, if you've got the height and weight requirements, that's all you really got to do. Yeah. So no one says a bat has to be a certain shape or whatever. I mean, there's probably scientists and engineers working on the.
I'm sure there are, and that's why when I read that, and just being the passing fan that I am, I thought, if this is this leap forward in technology, if they've suddenly brought something to the game that no one's ever seen before, I think baseball might have a problem with it. Like, wait a minute. If you've advanced the game, at the very least, let's see what it is, and maybe we should share the wealth here.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of course, there was a lot of people first peeved about it, and then there was people saying,
it's no big deal.
Send some of those over our way if that's.
Well, if other teams are using them.
Yeah.
And then I think it might have been more of happenstance than technology.
Well, also, the Brewers are without 8 of their 13 top arms. That could have something to do with why the
matters.
Yankees lit you up.
Dude, that's probably the lead. You should lead with that.
And Aaron Judge, one of the guys who didn't use it, and they asked him why. He's like, seems like what I've been doing the last couple of years works. So if it ain't broke, I ain't going to try to fix it, which also makes sense. If I'm Aaron Judge, I'm not changing up what kind of bat I use. I got this game figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some of the Ohtani shouldn't change up what kind of bat he uses. It's working.
But if you could add 15 feet.
I don't know that it does that.
See, that's where I'm at. Like, if it doesn't do anything, then go carry on about your day. It's all about mental than technological.
I've seen so many different kind of bat. Like I've seen for a while there was a thing called the axe bats, and they had like a diagonal knob, so it kind of kept you from rolling your wrists over.
Well, my baseball experience ended at the precipice of travel ball, and I remember there was one bat. And if you use that bat, DeMarine or whatever that bat was, there was one really good bat.
Yeah.
And that bat meant 20 feet. It really did. It made that big of a difference. And if there was that kind of leap forward in Major League, then I would have a problem with it because it did make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be of a certain kind of wood. It's got to be a certain length and a certain weight.
Shaped like a torpedo.
Well, it's working.
It's science.
It is. It's math. It's a lot of different things.
No, I don't think luck and no arms.
I don't think there's any English, but I think there's math and science involved.
Those arms they were going against, they could have used a broomstick.
Probably so. And that's the other thing. Like, when I was a kid, that's the kind of bats we used, long, skinny bats. And then, as my sons were growing up, the barrels were bigger and bigger. It's like
big Bertha effect.
And yeah, it certainly makes it easier to hit the ball when you got a big barrel, but it's all if you can hit, you can hit. At the end of the day, I remember it was a big deal because Barry Bonds started using maple bats, and they were like
ash.
Yeah, and they were like, well, you can't use. There's got to be something. And then, well, everybody else uses maple bats, and they're still normal humans. It turns out Barry Bonds was just really good at baseball. Like,
well, there's some cream and clear,
but at the end of the day, the guys who are the best at this,
yeah, that's just it.
Whatever the tool is, they're gonna like if Barry Bonds went up with a broomstick, he was probably hitting home runs.
See, and for baseball in general, as a passing baseball fan, I know the effect the equipment has. I know the years when there's the juice ball and the tighter stitch. Yeah. So when I hear a team's using a different bat, I think more than any other sport, I tweak up just a little bit because I know that the league can affect the game by the tools. Like they can lace the ball a little bit tighter. They can lace it a little bit looser, deaden the ball. They've done it. We've got tangible proof, though they've never admitted. We can tell by the balls what they're chasing, whoever they is. And so if another bat suddenly shows up a week into a new year and then popping 23 home runs over a weekend, I'm going to go, wait a minute, what's going on? Because baseball has a history of kind of affecting the tools that affect the outcome.
There's another factor that nobody really talked about, but Nestor Cortez was pitching for the Brewers until last year. Nestor Cortez pitched for the New York Yankees. Would it shock you? That's what I'm saying. Would it shock you if one of the pitching coaches said, hey, guys, just so you guys know, when Nestor is throwing a fastball, this is the way, like something like that, which would, by the way, I think be perfectly legal and, quite frankly, ethical.
Well, didn't it happen to a former Ranger pitcher?
Scout your own guys.
Well, the Korean pitcher, what was his name? That was a Ranger that went to
Chan-Ho Park.
Well, it was Chan-Ho Park, and he had a tell, and the Rangers knew what his tell was.
And they lit him up.
Lit him up, and it was a year after he'd left. That's entirely possible.
That's kind of what I mean. You give up 5 home runs in 2 innings. It's almost like they might know what's coming.
Nah, it's the bat, man. I was on. I was feeling it. I was dealing. It was the bat. It's not fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a 2x6. It's not fair.
I'm not sure, but either way, hell of a weekend for the Yankees. And again, contrary to like what the media seems to be reporting, there were other teams using it. It was just several Yankees
are a
were
bunch
using
of
it.
Cheaters.
I know. That was the big deal.
There's a letter someplace that I've yet to read.
Jacob deGrom made his return to baseball for the Texas Rangers and looked really, really good. Rangers get a win 3-2 over the Red Sox.
They needed it.
They hit the Red Sox scored on home runs after deGrom was out of the game. But he allowed 2 hits, 5 shutout innings, and reached his pitch count, which was set at 70. I think it was at 75. He got up to 73 pitches, and they said, okay, that's enough. But that's solid. Now, how long will it be before he gets hurt again? We'll see. That's kind of the thing with Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander. All these guys are really great until they have to go on the IL. But promising for the Rangers to get a performance like that out of a guy that clearly they've decided we're counting on this season. So, after the first weekend of baseball, I would say the Astros and Rangers both probably feeling okay. Rangers go 3-1, Astros 2-1. They're sitting atop the division. The only teams that made it through unscathed on the weekend were the Yankees went 3-0. The Cardinals went 3-0. The Padres went 4-0, and the Dodgers went 3-0 to add to the 2-0 they already had. So the Dodgers sit at 5-0. Well on their way to 1 million wins this season, if that's possible. I'm not sure that it's possible.
Well, I've got the over at 177.
You're on pace right now.
Right now,
on
so
pace,
feeling good.
On pace,
we
guy.
can't
would
lose
say,
till July, though. I mean, they gotta win through July. But once we get to July, I'll feel better about my bet.
You are in pretty good shape right now. Now, on the other side of that, Twins, Tigers, Braves, and Brewers all winless.
Gosh, it sucks to be already eliminated from the 25-26.
The Braves 0-4. You have been eliminated.
Mathematically out already.
Sorry.
Didn't even make it into April.
Yeah, you're 3. I mean,
well, the White Sox literally are, I think. But
you're 3 games behind the Marlins.
It's insurmountable.
The White Sox are actually only 1 game out of first place and are in 3rd place in their own division. I mean, they're in good shape, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about. White Sox won a game.
I saw a little bit of the Marlins over the weekend. What's his name? Went into their Ring of Honor.
Jeff Conine.
Jeff Conine.
Yeah.
Mr. Marlin. And his kid is a Marlin. I didn't know this.
Yep.
I was a fan of Conine back in the day. Mr. Average, man. Guy showed up for work.
Kind of just a guy.
He just showed up for work, baby. And he show up long enough, he put your name up on the wall.
Did the
give
job.
Your kid a little nepotism job. Good job for Mr.
Yep.
K. Well done.
Absolutely. And the Marlins went 3-1, which is unfortunate because that's literally the only season win total bet that I made this season was the Marlins under. Of course, they start the season 3-1. It's like, well, their division's even better than it was a year ago. Their team is worse. They got to lose 100 games. Well,
I was just checking to see who's in the Miami Marlins Ring of Honor.
Miguel Cabrera?
I don't see. Not yet. Not that I've seen. We got Jeff Conine, Luis Castillo, Jack McKeon, Jim Leyland.
Okay. So a couple managers.
Let's see here. Alex Gonzalez, Josh Beckett.
I played Little League ball with Josh Beckett.
See, that's what got him to where he is.
Claim to fame, friend. Claim to fame.
Trying to see who else there. Well, once they got Conine on there, that's all that matters.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Marlin.
your guy's in. Your guy is in. All right, that's enough Major League Baseball conversation for one day. We don't want to overwhelm you
season.
guys.
We got to pace ourselves.
Yeah, let's slow down. Maybe we should talk some lady basketball. I mean, women's basketball. Texas plays in the women's tournament today, though. I think Texas plays TCU, if I'm not mistaken.
Texas there could be a ring coming to Austin. That's a good basketball team.
I saw Kim Mulkey. LSU got knocked out, and she's so she's an angry lady on the inside. She's a bitter woman, but she was like, a reporter was like, so for the second straight year, you guys are eliminated in the Elite Eight. And she said, is that good or bad? And he's like, well, I think it's bad. And she said, oh, yeah? How many Final Fours have you been into? Well, none. Yeah. Well, so it sounds like Elite Eight's pretty damn good, doesn't it?
And she's kind of right. Come on. Come on, Kim. If you're going to anyway. Hey, man, I appreciate her.
I also to me,
I wouldn't play for her. I wouldn't hire her, but I appreciate her.
Yeah.
I feel like one time I want to see what she looks like with no makeup or hair product.
I don't know, man.
It's kind of like the president. I'd really love to see what it looks like when it's not.
I don't need to see any
done
nipples.
up.
I don't need to see.
I don't need to see her nipples.
The president's nipples.
I do need to see
I
that.
don't need to see.
I do need to see
without
that.
makeup. I'd like to see the president without makeup.
I would too. Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Oh man.
Just be a light.
We should make a top 10 list of people we want to see without makeup. Maybe we'll do that one day.
Yeah.
Maybe during the summer. 1 hour to go, friends. We'll try to make it a good one. Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Springtime is here and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you can take your pick of more or less for your shot of 1,000 times your money cash today. I'll say it again. That's today. Because on Prize Picks, you can match your player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with your favorite basketball players. Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's esports. Maybe it's something else. That's why you download Prize Picks. And what you do with Prize Picks is you win $50 instantly. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app right now. Use the code ALAMO. That's $50 instantly. Just play your lineup. Prize Picks. Hey, go run your game. I love Prize Picks because I'm not alone. There's millions of us playing, and you can win. It's easy. More or less. You better go run your game now.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on 410 northbound at Military Drive. Accident, left lane. Just a little bit of stop and go from Lakeside Parkway. Northeast side of town, 35 northbound, just past 1604. This wreck is in the right lane, and that has you stop and go from O'Connor. A stall at 35 southbound, connector to 410. That's got the connector ramp partially blocked. Loop 410 westbound Perrin Beidle, that's a stall center lane, a little bit of stop and go from Randolph Boulevard. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
It's an all #1 seed affair coming to San Antonio as the top 4 seeds are coming for only the second time in the event's history. The other was in 2008 when Kansas, Memphis, UCLA, and North Carolina reached the Final Four. The Spurs had a rough weekend, dropping 2, losing to the Boston Celtics on Saturday, 121-111. Yesterday, getting bombed by the Golden State Warriors. Final score, 148-106. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Look at us. 9:02.
Yeah. On the stretch.
Monday ain't slowing us down, Bubba. Monday ain't slowing us down. Aaron Rodgers had a throwing session with DK Metcalf. They're hanging out on the side. Just a couple buddies.
Where? At the Steelers facility?
Let's see. That's a good question. I didn't notice anything about where it was at.
The reason I asked was, was Metcalf there on a recruiting visit? Or was he there to eyeball the arm to see if he's comfortable with it?
They met at UCLA.
Oh, so up in Cali.
Yeah. Just hanging, just a couple dudes hanging out in UCLA and throwing the football around.
Football, going to get some froyo afterwards.
Tossing a little pigskin, no big deal.
Hanging out, being dudes.
No big deal. Colts are going to split the QB1 reps between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones in OTAs. Kind of what I expected. I don't think they are ready to fully give up on Anthony Richardson, and I think they would be foolish to fully marry themselves to Daniel Jones. So I think they're in a situation where it's like, hopefully one of these guys isn't total ass.
I kind of feel like whoever doesn't get the start will probably be finishing the year. So you're both going to get a chance.
It's like a Russ and Justin Fields thing. And then the other thing, the Ravens are still waiting for the NFL to announce what they've found about Justin Tucker. The number of accusations is up to 16. 16 masseuses, or massage therapists, I guess that's the proper term, in 8 different massage parlors or spas.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. They asked Sashi Brown about where things stand between the Ravens and Tucker, and Brown said, we're letting the league do their thing. And he said, one of the great things about the fact the NFL has taken this on is that it gives us more independence to the team, so we try to respect it and stay at arm's length. So we'll
well, they're working out kickers as we speak.
I think they gotta be.
No, we're hoping the justice system will work its way out by training camp. No, he's done.
Now, Justin Tucker hired a big fancy lawyer.
You better.
Called the claims unequivocally false and desperate tabloid fodder. Again, generally, I believe you. You know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt after one woman accuses you. 2, I start to go, whew, that don't look good. 16, wow. I tend to just assume that, you're just into weird stuff.
You might not have thought it was wrong, but it was wrong.
But it's wrong.
Maybe you just don't know how massages work is the thing. I guess that's possible.
Yeah, you don't know the definition.
You just lay there face down and
they rub your back.
Yeah, your back,
your legs,
shoulders, maybe your legs, yeah.
That's it.
You don't turn over and start hitting them with things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
with your tent, you don't do that.
Yeah. What's crazy is apparently this happened between 2012 and 2016, which means this behavior predated Deshaun Watson. Because my thought, my whole thought was, if I'm Justin Tucker and I heard about Deshaun Watson getting in trouble for this stuff, I'd be like, that's the last thing I would do, even if I was really into it.
Well, it turns out he'd been getting away with it for years.
Yeah. Justin Tucker's over here like, oh my God, are they really going to, is this a thing now? You guys investigate this stuff? Or look, when everybody else is like, oh, let's string up Deshaun Watson, Justin Tucker's like, no, let's be patient. He might be misunderstood. He's misunderstood.
Thanks for playing, Justin.
Yeah.
Your ticket will be punched on the way out.
The best news for Justin Tucker, or for the Ravens, is that Justin Tucker seems to be nearing the end of his
He had the yips.
elite run.
Now you figure, now I know why. I think he mentally was the problem last year. I don't think he was all in.
That could be.
You don't go from what he was to this year, which was awful. Most kickers would have been cut.
Although maybe he just wasn't getting as many massages this year.
Well, maybe
trying
he's
to
a
play
little
it
tight,
safe.
but it played a role, and it's over. It's over.
And you know what? Like, the crazy thing about this is this probably cost him the Hall of Fame. Like, he's a Hall of Fame kicker. He's the best kicker who's ever played football. And now he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame because even if he gets exonerated, there are going to be people who are like,
well, the good news is I don't think he was a first ballot. Kickers just don't go first ballot. He's probably third, 8. So we're minimum of 8 years. If he can diligently get out from underneath this, I don't know how. Maybe in 8 years we'll forget. If he can manage not to be convicted of anything, maybe we'll forget. I don't think that's going to happen. There have been some pretty bad dudes going to the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to discount that yet because there is some time. But if this all turns true, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely done.
We talked about, moving on to some other notes. In college hoops, R.J. Lewis, who got benched in the waning minutes of St. John's tournament elimination game when they lost to Arkansas, sat on the bench for the last 5 minutes.
And pouted.
You may be shocked to know that he has entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, 800 other dudes.
Yeah.
This is the first time that the reigning player of a year from a high major league has entered the transfer portal. Previously, the biggest name to have ever done it was Hunter Dickinson. And Hunter Dickinson might be a better player than R.J. Lewis is, but this is the first time that a defending player of the year from a high major league has said, yep, I'm out. Apparently there's now, like, it's all coming out that there's rumors that there'd been turmoil between Patino and Lewis for weeks.
Well,
but there are also people who say Lewis portal entry was not a direct result of being benched or of Rick Pitino throwing him under the bus in the press conference after the game. Has nothing to do with that last game. Says he wants to go pro. He wants to test the waters. Pitino thinks he's ready. They've talked about it, and the program has to move on to get someone else. There's nothing contentious, surprising, or antagonistic about it. But it means that if he does come back, if he tests the NBA waters and doesn't find what he likes, he's going to come back someplace that's not St. John's University, is what it looks like.
Well, what do you have? Like more than 750 went into the portal initially. Now we're up over 800.
Which seems like that's all the players in college basketball.
It feels like that. I mean, I'm surprised that one player is newsworthy. It just seems like
it's a Big East Player of the Year.
Well, I was shocked to hear that, quite frankly, but that's the last time we'll have to worry about that. That'll happen just about every year now, I think. At least from maybe not from the powers. This is crazy. I just can't imagine that we're talking about this and the season's not even over. That players are literally allowed to do this. That it's even a thing that we're talking about. What other league can you go ahead and check out before the championship game's even been played? We knew forever that basketball athletes, by the middle of spring, if they were a junior or above, or they were never going back to campus. Once they made that last road trip, their apartment was packed up, their dorm was packed up. They were either heading pro or they were just going someplace else. This is no different. It just seems like at the very least, we got to change can't we wait till next Tuesday?
I mean, you remember there were guys playing in tournament games who had already said, I'm going to be in the portal.
Absolutely insane.
Absolutely insane. It does seem like that this is it does seem like for the sake of the game, it would be better if they waited to open the portal after. And
the same goes with coaches. I don't
think
anybody.
Agree with that too,
I mean, nobody can, because I heard the conscience of college basketball, Jay Billis, and he is positioning himself as the guy that sits on your shoulder and talks about the better angels, and he was the one that brought up tampering. Now we'd lose our minds if we knew that someone was calling, you name the school for your favorite guy before this. We'd lose our minds. But do you think Nova called Willard? Yes, they tampered.
Yeah.
And nobody even bats an eye.
And also, like, while they're still in.
Literally, the call was made during while they were at the conference tournament. The calls were made.
Dude, Texas loses to Sean Miller.
And he has an interview.
2 days later, he's got the job?
He had the interview after the game. So I get I mean, at least it's chaos for everybody. But this is so absolutely silly that a guy like the St. John's kid can even say he's leaving, that he can even say he's leaving from a Power 5. And he can also do it while the season is still going. We haven't even put this thing to bed, and he's not only allowed to, it's built into the rules you're supposed to.
I mean, he can also say, I'm going to the NBA, which is apparently he wants to do that too. So he's entering the transfer portal while announcing for the NBA. I guess that's your way of keeping your options open.
Well, yeah, this is the secret. Everybody's options are wide open all the time.
The coaching thing ain't going away. Like, because it's an arms race. You don't want to be the last one without a coach.
I would like to think that at the very least, even though the deals are done and the tampering is happening, if you mention it, it's a $100,000 fine. If we find out you've been hired before Tuesday after the tournament, whether you were or not, you get fined. At the very least, let's keep up the optics. At the very least, let's act like it's above board, even though we know it's not.
A baseball nugget. I like how I'm filling this segment with just the random stories that I didn't have enough time to get to earlier in the show. Rafael Devers, who is the DH for the Red Sox, former third baseman, has lost his third base job to Alex Bregman and is now the full-time DH, which your job when you're the designated hitter is to hit the baseball. And Rafael Devers is doing really, really, really poorly at that. He has now started the season 0 for 12 with 10 strikeouts.
He couldn't see DeGrom's stuff, man.
That sets the record, the Major League Baseball record for most strikeouts across the first 3 games of the season. 5 players had previously struck out 9 times in their first 3 games. Devers becomes the first in history to strike out 10 times.
It's that staff with the Rangers, man. They're killers.
I think it's because he doesn't have a torpedo bat.
Well, see, they need that too. But it's the Rangers. It was those powder blues. It was the stadium. It was all wall-eyed.
The weird thing about this is it was mostly fastballs is what he was being fed, which that's a little bit worrisome. 75% of pitches seen have been fastballs, which means and he's swung at 20 fastballs and whiffed on 14 of them. That's 70% whiff rate. If you're swinging and missing at fastballs at the major league level, there's some real problems at that rate.
On DH as well. Well,
like guys like Adam Dunn, who struck out a whole bunch. Well, yeah, they struck him out because they threw him a bunch of curveballs because they knew if they threw a fastball, it was going to the moon. This guy, they're saying, yeah, this guy can't hit. We're just going to throw it by him.
You're going to have to give Jobu some different run.
Yikes. That might.
Jobu won't let you hit the fastball. He's giving you the curveball.
Not ideal. It's a small sample size, but it's the
Rangers staff, man. Those are golden arms going on up there. Golden arms.
Yep. All right. We've when we come back, we're gonna see. I've got some good stuff, baby. I've got some good stuff in the world outside of sports. I know Rob's been waiting all weekend to hear what I've got to talk about. I'll just say this, Rob. Well, first of all, I do want to say that a film festival that promotes filth is they're finally leaving town. We'll talk about that.
VNAs.
And we got to talk about Morgan Wallen. I know you I'm sure you saw this over the weekend. Morgan Wallen
is
in the news.
If the show is over, just stand till the credits run,
That's
dude. You're not allowed to leave early.
We'll talk about all that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on 410 northbound at Military Drive. Accident, left lane. Just a little bit of stop and go from Lakeside Parkway. Northeast side of town, 35 northbound, just past 1604. This wreck is in the right lane, and that has you stop and go from O'Connor. A stall at 35 southbound, connector to 410. That's got the connector ramp partially blocked. Loop 410 westbound Perrin Vital, that's a stall center lane, a little bit of stop and go from Randolph Boulevard. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This message is for all the home improvement DIYers out there. Sherwin-Williams is running the play of the season with their spring sale. Get 30% off all paints and stains March 28th through April 7th. We're talking every color, folks. They still haven't made a jet green, but their shamrock shade is pretty darn close. That's 30% off paints and stains March 28th through April 7th. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nigel, what are you doing with all this stuff in the break room? It looks like a farmer's market in here.
I'm changing my eating habits, embracing good quality nutrition with fresh produce.
Call Quarter Moon for your $58.99 AC inspection. For a limited time, just $58.99.
Nigel, that's a pretty impressive healthy salad you've assembled.
Thanks, Joel. Now step back. The grease is hot.
Grease?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E and 16004.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Truth be told,
Technology
right?
problems,
Technology. They talked about it, that Joe was going to send you home and do sports from home back in the TV days.
Obviously.
I said, well, okay. Is somebody going to come over and set that up? No, we can't send anybody over there. I said, well, I guess we're screwed then.
Yeah.
Good God, not how to set that stuff up.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Stand corrected, by the way. I only had the first 3 games of that Ranger series math because I had the stat pulled up and then I didn't refresh it like I thought it would automatically refresh it.
Oh, yeah.
So Devers is now 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts.
Oh, did he just whiff just now?
Yeah.
Looks like another one.
Struck out in the shower?
Looks like another one. 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts. That's hard to do, friends. That is really hard to do, quite frankly. For a professional baseball player, I could probably go 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts against major league pitching, but it's not my job. You know what I mean? Not my job to do that. I always think I'm a better hitter than I really am in real life. Like when I was at Austin, Craig Way, who's the voice of the Longhorns, but he first of all, he doubted me. He said he didn't think I could hit 100 miles an hour. So we did our show at a batting cage, and 10 pitches, and again, if it's a fastball, I could hit 100 miles an hour. At least back then, I was in my 20s.
Were you sticking your bat out, or were you turning on?
No, I was making good contact on it.
Were there any foul balls?
Of course.
Yes, several.
All of them.
No, I had a couple. I had a couple solid. I had some solid contact.
Okay.
But again, that's a ball that's not moving. That's
Did
a
you have
straight ball.
Torpedo bat?
No, I just had a regular old bat that I grabbed. I got it from the batting cage. I didn't have my own bat. I said I'll swing what you guys give me. Now that said, I also said that I would be able to hit off Kat Osterman, who's a lady softball thrower.
I would take her money. She'd strike your ass out. I've
It's
seen
hard to
that
hit
stuff.
softball. Yeah.
I had 20 attempts. 20 attempts to hit the ball off of her. I made contact twice. Neither one of them went into the field of play.
I will never get the physics of the underarm speed.
First
I
of
just
all,
don't get how they generate the velocity.
They stand so close
that's
to you.
the other thing. They're right there.
It's really kind of
It's like they're,
scary.
like, right in front of you. Almost.
Yeah, and the ball moves
It rises up. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Oh yeah.
That's
So when you swing, do you like swing up?
no. I was trying to do a level swing, but I was trying to be level higher than where I thought the pitch was going to go.
Okay.
But honestly, I really had a hard time tracking the pitch because it
comes up at you.
It comes at you so fast, man. It really does, and it was very embarrassing.
You
what
would
she
think
did
it would
to
hit.
me.
It's a bigger ball. But
So I had to apologize. I had said, oh, I can't believe she didn't let anybody get a hit. I would have crushed one. And then
what are the mile an hour of this underarm?
Well, they bring it in at 80.
Yeah,
that's
80.
But it feels like
100.
It feels like
Well,
more than that because they're so
closer
close to you.
Yeah, they're so much closer, not coming off a mound either. So you're looking at them eye to eye, and they're coming at you.
Yeah.
And then I also did a thing where I was convinced that I could return a serve from Andy Roddick.
Oh, well, did it just hit you in the face?
And I'm not I was never like a really good tennis player, but I was decent.
Okay.
And that was maybe an even dumber thing to say than the thing about Kat Osterman because that was like that wasn't even real. It was humiliating.
My nephew played high school tennis. He's about 6'7", though, big, tall kid, and watched him serve at me, and they were probably coming in at about 75, 80 miles an hour. I don't know how you ever return any of those.
There were multiple times where he hit it, and before I could tell where it was by me.
I don't know how you return it. I really don't. I would be smart enough not to stand on the court with Andy Roddick.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
And I tried standing way at the back.
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
He bruised up.
It didn't matter. Even when I hit the ball, it was nowhere near like going back at him. And he's now guys serve like 15, 20 miles an hour harder than he ever did. So yeah, count me out. The only thing that I haven't done that I've said I can do on the level of pro athletes, I really believe this. I think if I took 10 penalty kicks against a professional goalie, I could make at least 4, maybe 5.
You know,
and I don't even play soccer. I'm just saying I fully believe
You
that
think that the net's wide enough for you to get in there?
It's a huge goal.
Yeah.
And it really is just the goalie just seems like he kind of guesses.
Well, I think
that's
they
why
do.
sometimes they kick it to the right and the goalie's already jumped to the left. It's the law of averages say I could get 3 or 4 in there.
It's a 50-50.
Oh,
I'm going to say 3 at a minimum.
I don't know,
I don't
man.
even know how to kick a soccer ball. I
see,
really
that's-
don't. But I think I could.
I think I'd put
it's
the money
hard
on
to
the
miss
goalie because I know
You
how
think?
hard those guys kick it. You know, those guys. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you don't really realize how tall basketball players are till you're standing beside them. And you really don't understand. The thing that always shocked me, and this is on the same, watching a guy punt. The sound a professional or a high-end D1 punter when the foot hits the ball, it's like a gunshot, and you don't really realize that until you're there, until you actually see it, and you go, my God. And then when you see a high-end soccer player kick the ball like a laser, TV doesn't do it justice.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's probably of all the professional things to step out and do, apart from a wide-open 3, kicking past a goalie, given enough opportunity, seems like probably the easiest thing.
3 out of 10. I think I can do 3 out of 10.
I wouldn't bet on myself now, but of all the things I would try, that would be the one I would bet, other than, hit an open 3.
The other one I did was I kicked a 30-yard field goal, and I never kicked growing up, but 30 yards.
Every year at the
I was able to do that.
At the
I can kick a ball 30 yards. I can kick it into a
well, you'll have an
net.
opportunity to put your money where your mouth is there. Every year at the Alamo Dome kickoff party, they set up field goals, and you can go kick against
Okay.
others. So best I've ever done, I kicked a 20-yarder a couple years back, but that was more effort than I wanted to go.
Okay.
And that's a longer kick than you think it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's a long way, but it's like,
Pull a hammy. And I had to go straight on. I don't know how
It
to
took
do
me
the
3
soccer
tries.
style.
It took me 3 tries, to be fair, for the 30. I started at an extra point, and then I did 20, and then I did 30.
I've kicked a 20-yarder, and there's no way I'll ever be able to kick anything further than that. That was everything I had.
But
and it was arced. It went high, and it was dying, and it just barely went on. Past
barely
the
went
bar.
over?
And
All right.
keep in mind, I'm coming at it like I'm in the 1950s with a square-toed shoe. I don't know how to cook and kick
You
soccer.
just went. You
did-
went straight.
I
right?
looked like the.
You didn't start off.
No,
on the
I
side
stepped
and
into
stuff?
it like I was. What was that old kicker for the Redskins that loaded his shoe up with lead weight? I looked like that guy.
Redbird says AJ's shot would be so slow the keeper could guess the wrong way and still make it back the other way to block it.
Well, see, that's honestly, while he's saying that, I get the sense that's probably the case.
I have a little bit of still a little bit of athleticism to me.
Yeah, but you're in your
I'm past
40s,
my prime,
and
but
you haven't kicked a soccer ball in 15 years, I would bet.
Probably ever.
And
Yeah, I know. You never kicked one, have you?
my money would be on maybe once. Maybe one.
Did you ever play kickball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was good at kickball.
That was probably the last time you kicked a round
See,
ball.
I kick ball like a soccer ball or a football straight on, baby. I don't do that.
Oh, I would too. Yeah, I'm running straight at it.
Kick it at the top of your foot.
See, I feel like I could probably add 10, 15 yards if I did the good way.
Yeah.
If you kick with the side of your foot, you're talking
if
about?
I did the soccer style, which that's not really what it is, the real way. But I'm
Yeah.
still the old school square-toed.
Yeah.
Come at it with head down.
Just
like I did in 8th grade.
I have some square-toe cowboy boots.
Yeah,
that
that's what
might
I
be
was
the way to
gonna-
go.
So next year for the Alamo Dome.
you just have one bar on your face.
That's
mask,
all we
right?
had.
Yeah.
Stepped into it.
Even then.
I might be able to do that. I might be able to do it. I'm just saying. Haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen walked off the stage of Saturday Night Live.
I don't get why everybody's so mad.
Everybody was very worked up. The show's over, but he didn't stand around and hug all the cast. And he got back. First, he went and got on his private jet and said, "Going back to God's country, or get me back to God's country on your private jet, mind you."
I like his music, so yeah.
I don't know that I'd know a song of his. If you told.
He's every other song on the radio right now. He's the biggest country artist going.
Is he the one that sings the Applebee's song?
Whiskey, whatever. I don't know. He's got 3 or 4 songs. He's been around for a minute.
Does he sing the Applebee's song?
No, that's not him. That's
Okay,
that's
good.
somebody else. No, he's a little bit more outlaw. He's gotten in some trouble before. He made the news.
Yeah.
Okay. He did pretty good. I thought he was all right on Saturday.
He didn't
night.
want to be in New York City.
See, seriously. All right.
Chris says, I think you'd be better off trying a better chance scoring 5 points in an NBA game. No way. No way.
Nah.
And again, I'm not saying I could ever score a goal in a real soccer game. I never would be able to. But I'm just saying, a penalty kick, give me 10 chances, and I'm putting some of those in. I can't imagine that I'm not.
I put money on that.
You would? I don't know, man. I just know that the level of speed that they are accustomed to is about 10 times faster than you can kick. And at your best, just because those guys are professionals, you know.
I get it.
It's one of those things I don't think we can.
After watching AJ do it one time, I'll know if I lost my money or not.
So here's what I would want to do. This is the way I would want to do it is I would want to have some practice kicks before the goalie was there. I don't want him to know my ball speed.
Oh,
okay.
I see what you're saying.
And I also want to have a couple kicks where I'm slow and I want to have a changeup. I want to have a slow ball and a fast ball. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Rob's not convinced. He doesn't.
I'm not saying you can't. I just think it's a whole lot harder than you think it's going to be.
All right.
That those dudes are really, really good.
Yeah.
But they guess.
Hey, we got a field big enough for
But I think
soccer
that they're
goal
good
net in
enough
the
to
back.
guess, stop, and get back. I don't think you'll be able to kick it hard enough to get it past. And I'm not saying you won't be able to kick it hard, but we're talking about.
No, not much less kicking it hard. You got to control it. You know where it's going.
What am I going to do? Kick it over the goal? That thing's gigantic. It's like the size of a house.
The pros do all the time.
Yeah, but those guys have rocket legs. I just have a normal leg.
That's what I think that the strength involved. I wonder is there any soccer players rolling on the brigade and say, yeah, it's doable?
I doubt it. Redbird says his son's a keeper at TLU. There are tells from a kicker as they approach the ball. I'm certainly could pick yours up fairly quickly.
See, I'd like to see you against the TLU. I think that would be because those guys are seeing it. I mean,
yeah. Chicken Dinner says, AJ, to get back in the octagon, you can last 3 minutes with Ronda Rousey. I doubt that. Especially now, I doubt that.
Yeah,
and I've also been beat up by girls before. Chris Cyborg, we sparred, and she literally embarrassed me, like knocked me down multiple times in sparring. And I was like, I told my coach when the first time she knocked me down, I said, I slipped.
Okay.
And mind you, I was in a fight camp. I was like about to fight another man my own size.
Okay.
And this woman knocked me down, and I said, I slipped. I got up. I said, I just slipped. Then the second time she knocked me down, I put my hand down to get up, and my hand fell out from under me, and I was like, oh boy, she just put it on me. So I'm not saying that like I can do it. I'm not some mega athlete that can do anything. I've learned my lesson over time.
Bo Jackson. Yeah,
I'm not Bo Jackson. That's not what I'm claiming. What I am claiming is I can make a penalty kick. And I didn't. And when I was 20, and when I was 26, I could hit 100 miles an hour off a pitching machine. Not off a real person, mind you, but off a pitching machine, I could.
Because it's a fastball.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna move. But
no curveball, no knuckleball, no sliders, no nothing.
The reason why I can't play baseball is because kids started to figure out how to throw curveball. That's the worst thing that happens in baseball. All right, one more. The Sundance Film Festival, after 40 years, is leaving Park City, Utah.
I've heard that.
It was narrowed down to Park City, Utah, Salt Lake, which I guess is still part of. I don't know much about Park City, but I think it's in Salt Lake City, or it's like a region of it. But I guess they were talking about maybe moving it within. And then Cincinnati was the other city in the running, and ultimately Boulder, Colorado, is the new home of the Sundance Film Festival. Now, some people, like the Park City mayor, said marks the end of an incredible era, but not the end of Park City's magic.
That's true.
For over 40 years, we weren't just the host of the Sundance Film Festival. Park City was part of the beating heart of the independent spirit that made it such a success. While I'm deeply disappointed, I'm grateful for the legacy we built together. And then the governor came out and said he put out a highly competitive package, and I think one day they'll realize they left behind not just a place, but their heritage. In the meantime, we'll keep doing what we've always done, supporting filmmakers, building a world-class film economy right here in Utah. Well, there was one guy who did not handle it as well. Representative Trevor Lee, a Salt Lake City Republican, got on social media and said, I'm glad that it's gone. They promoted filth, and they won't be missed in our state. Promoted filth.
Filth. Flarn. Have you seen? I got a chance to check out that movie, Nora. Have you seen that?
No.
That's an NC-17 movie.
I haven't
She got
seen
that movie because she was willing to be naked for 2 hours. Not that I'm against it. And that was a Sundance type movie. The strange thing about them moving, because Park City is beautiful. I mean, they're going to be just fine. Ain't nobody going to go by Park City. Boulder. Anybody ever been to Manitou Springs? You ever been to Manitou Springs?
I don't think so.
It's
I've been to Boulder.
Well, right outside of Boulder is Boulder's a fun place. It's just it's different.
Yeah. Now, Boulder, there is a smell of cow in the air.
It's not quite as – it's a very different locale.
It's not as picturesque.
No. I mean, it's going to be cool. I mean, I don't know if weed's legal in Utah, but it is in Colorado.
You know it's not legal in Utah.
But it's just such a random – I thought they would have chosen someplace other than just outside of Boulder. Just
hey, man.
Like we're moving our international film show to – Uvalde.
Living.
It's a nice place, nothing wrong, but wow, what a difference, what a change.
Living their best life. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap up the show the way we always do by taking a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is back. And it's all about having a great time. Grab your buddies and ladies too. Hit the course for a fun, laid-back day of golf, laughs, and a little friendly competition at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, April 14th. It's just $120 a player or $400 for a foursome. A solid deal for a day of good times with your crew. The Spring Golf Classic benefits the Pan American Golf Association. But don't worry, this isn't some motorhomes. After you've crushed it on the course, join us at the Hangar Bar and Grill on Potranco for the ultimate after party. Cold drinks, great food, and good times with all of your buddies.
Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country, it all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence. Christie's Hope is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing and counseling, and empowering survivors to take their first steps towards lasting safety and independence. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions, a very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jose says AJ has a better shot of walking down Zarzamora and getting picked up by a John than scoring a penalty kick goal.
Well, that's true no matter what.
Yeah.
I feel there's nothing I can do. Yeah. Vic.
Yeah.
If I go crazy, will you still call me Superman?
Yeah, you made it to work that one day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, during the Great Freeze?
Yeah, the freeze.
I made it. Yeah. I was a hero that day. I like that you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who wants a Mellow Mushroom gift card? $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. It is a Mellow Mushroom Monday. I love Mellow Mushroom. Oh, it's so good. And it's right by my house. Do you guys get this? I know it's smarter for me to go pick up and it's cheaper for me to go pick up, but I'm so lazy. It's like, I could pay Uber Eats $14 to go get my pizza, or I could just drive for 5 minutes.
And go and save $14.
And I always have like this, what do I do? Like,
I got 14.
Why am I like this? Why don't I just go get my own pizza?
Because it's there, because it's available.
I'm so
if it wasn't
lazy.
available. Then...
Technology's made me so lazy.
I would probably use all of the delivery favor or whatever you might be using. I just don't like cold food. I just refuse to do it.
Well, if you to get your
food delivered it's never good. I've never once I'm so glad I had
pizza though.
Well, pizza, most of them deliver themselves. But
Not
I would
anymore.
much rather.
Most of them are going towards having someone else do it for them.
I would rather go get it knowing that I'll get it home in time instead of the 9th stop on the way back.
Yeah, you're right. I feel
back
that
during
way
the
too
lockdown,
sometimes.
I kind of started trying to, and I live kind of far out. There's really not that much close to me, which is a problem. But I'll pay the money, or I'd rather not pay, save the money, and go get it and have fresher food to eat than being the third stop and worrying about tipping or some dude mad that I didn't tip on his way over.
Be driving around for 45
spitting
minutes.
in my food or what. I'm just not a big bring me the food guy. I'll go get it.
Hey, I've got good news for you guys. Do you guys ever wake up in the middle of the night, or once you sleep, are you sleeping?
Well, I get up in the middle of the night, but
it depends. Yeah.
No, I have to. You come. Well, there's physical reasons why I have to get up 3 times a night.
Well, apparently, this is good news for us gentlemen. It is now, scientists are saying that those who engage in sex or self-pleasure just before going to sleep are far less likely to wake up soon afterwards.
That's true.
Well, I'm exhausted.
Well, yeah.
That is 100% true.
Australian scientists say the theory is the post-orgasmic rush of feel-good hormones help people to get a good night's sleep. They also know the benefits of the intimacy for sleep seem to be particularly strong for women. Mm-hmm. So something to let your ladies know about.
Problem is, she's normally already asleep.
When you have engage in the relations?
Whenever I'm trying, she's already asleep. What's the purpose? She's like, I'm sleeping fine.
In the experiment, experts recruited 7 couples, aged 26 on average, gave them a strict sex and sleep schedule. For a total of 11 nights, participants abstained from sex for 7, performed an act of self-pleasure for 2, and had sex with their partner for the final 2.
Okay.
Couples were instructed to sleep apart from their partner on 2 of the self-pleasure nights. So this would be like you get sent to the couch.
Got it.
Okay. For the experiment, participants were told to make the sexual activity the very last thing they did before bed. They wore a sleep tracking device, and the results were sent directly to researchers. On average, the participants who engaged in acts of self-pleasure reported gaining an average of 19 minutes in intercourse. Oh, that's how long it took them.
Okay.
Which seems like a really long time. And intercourse was 33 minutes per session.
What?
And when they did that, they only woke up for an average of 16 minutes during the night. In contrast, on celibate nights, they were awake for over 25 minutes on average.
This is a news flash? We had to study this?
I mean, scientists got to get paid for doing something.
Somebody spent money to do this?
I could have told you this. On nights that I don't get laid, I'm a little laid up. I'm a little nervous. I got a spinning brain.
Yeah.
Nights I do, I'm sleeping pretty good. I think I could back that up with some science.
All right, let's take a look at the daily lines, Vic.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
The heat is on. They're also 9-point favorites at the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
Pick me a winner, Rob.
The Heat will cover.
Really?
Wizards. The Heat have got some spunk, man.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Pacers -5.5 hosting Sacramento. Kind of like the Kings there. 5.5 feels like a lot.
Check what they're the Kings kind of fallen apart here the last 3 days. Games.
Clippers -2.5 in Orlando. I like the Clippers a lot.
Now
here.
they are playing well.
They
saw
are.
them.
They're figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, relatively.
Yeah.
How about this one? This is a battle of the Titans. The Utah Jazz +1.5 at the Charlotte Hornets.
You think we can have a fight in this one?
No, they don't care.
If we can
enough
have a
to fight
in this one, then I'll put some over-unders.
The only way they would fight is if they were fighting over who was actually going to win the game. Hey, did I give a caller number to win the pizza? I didn't, did I?
No, not yet. You got to do it right now.
Okay, caller number 3, you're going to win a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom for a Mellow Mushroom Monday.
No Collins, no Kessler, no Ball, no Brandon Miller. Everybody out. It's the G League team.
Gosh.
G League. So Holmesworth 1.5. Take Charlotte.
Total's 218.5.
Take the 1.5 in Charlotte.
Gross. Celtics -5 at the Grizz. Did the Grizz get the dead coach bounce?
You know, the sad thing is this was shaping up to look like a pretty good basketball game. Still might be. I mean, there's still the teams are still
these guys
the same
usually
teams,
the first time after your coach gets fired, usually you get a little
so a little pepper, especially if they're happy to see him go. At least half the room might be. So I'll take that bounce. Yeah, I like this. They're on the road.
The Thunder 15-point favorites hosting Chicago.
I don't like that at all.
That's a playoff team, the Chicago
Yeah,
Bulls.
I don't like that at all. I think that's a crazy number.
15 does feel outrageous. Brooklyn 8.5 at the Mavericks. The Mavericks are almost 9-point favorites over an NBA team.
I'm checking injuries.
That's wild to me.
Obviously,
just at
AD
first look. Don't say obviously AD is going to play just because he played before.
No, he's GT. He's game time.
Yeah,
Cam Johnson's
always.
definitely out. Cam Thomas. All the Cams are out. We have no Cams playing for the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe that's enough.
What a gross game also. And the Rockets plus 4.5 at the Lakers. Ooh.
Rockets are hooping right now.
Off a back-to-back. Yeah, they beat they might have used up all their points last night in Phoenix.
They're hooping.
In Major League Baseball, Twins are at the White Sox. Paddock at Perez. The Twins minus 195 favorites on the road. Chris Bubich and the Royals are at Milwaukee. Elvin Rodriguez for the Brewers. Brewers minus 115. Sean Newcomb and the Red Sox are at Baltimore. Cade Povich for the Orioles minus 150. Herman Marquez and the Rockies go to Philadelphia to take on Christopher Sanchez. Phillies minus 285. David Peterson and the Mets are minus 195 favorites in Miami. Cal Quantrill for the Marlins. Kumar Rocker.
There we go.
For the Rangers. At Cincinnati, Brady Singer for the Reds. Rangers minus 120 on the road. Oh, I'm going to butcher a name here, friends. You ready?
Go for it.
The Pirates are at the Rays. Drew Rasmussen for the Rays. Minus 205 favorites. For the Pirates today.
Silent L, maybe?
Carmen Mlodzinski?
Is that L pronounced or is it Mlodzinski?
Mlodzinski. Soda Mlodzinski.
And Carmen on top of that.
Carmen. Michael Soroka and the Nationals take on Bowden Francis and the Jays. Jays minus 165. Tyler Anderson and the Angels go to St. Louis. The Cardinals with Miles Michaelis minus 155 favorites. Jordan Hicks toes it for the Giants today. They are at Houston. Ronel Blanco going for the Stros. Stros minus 130 favorites. The Cleveland Guardians, Luis Ortiz, they're at San Diego, and the Padres. Kyle Hart minus 135 are the Padres. Jackson Jobe, rookie for the Tigers, makes his first start this season against Emerson Hancock.
You said.
Minus 120 is Hancock. Ben Brown and the Cubs are at the Athletics. They don't even call them Oakland or Sacramento. It's the first game in Sacramento Stadium, though. The Cubs minus 130. Joey Estes going for the A's. And in the nightcap, Grant Holmes and the Braves take on the L.A. Dodgers. The 0-4 Braves at the 5-0 Dodgers. Tyler Glasnow and the Dodgers minus 225 favorites. My goodness. Give me the Cubs to beat the A's tonight.
In a minor league stadium.
That's right.
Fun.
We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time. Blitz is back in town. They'll be here at 2.